Hello, everybody. Welcome back to OTO-GIRI-SOU. Hello? There we go. Last time we read the whole book. From where, continue or intro? Continue? Because it's going to take me back, right? Yeah. So last time, we read the entire book in 2 hours, basically. So now we should come across some new differences. Narrow mountain road weaved back and forth. I'm not sure if it was because of the shadows of the mountain or something else. The trees were all lined up in a row like a procession of corpses, and the way the rocks were shaped made them look like monsters. I decided to put those disturbing thoughts out of my head. I could hear Nami breathing lightly as she slept. She was awake until just a moment ago. I figured she must be tired after a day of fishing at the river. She looked so beautiful as she slept. As I gripped the steering wheel, I couldn't help but gaze at her. Ah, Alan, a car! Nami suddenly shouted. Without thinking, I was just about to hit the brakes. There was no car heading towards us at all. Nami. Oh, that was a dream? Come on, get it together. I pretended like I was going to smack her with my elbow. And at that time, I shivered, like I just had a premonition of something sinister. Nami looked out the window. Hey, Alan? What? What's the name of those flowers, I wonder? I noticed them earlier. There's a big stretch of yellow flowers beside the road that have long, thin stems and elliptical leaves. They go by a few names. Okay, that's back. Further cut flower, OTO-GIRI-SOU. Weird story about those flowers. I thought I'd tell it to Nami to make the drive a little more interesting, so... I went with the gory version. Story happened back in the... Oh god. Heian era? Somewhere between the year 794 and 1185. I began to tell the story. There, these two brothers, falconers. Their family had a special medicine for falcons. They passed it down to their family for years, but the younger brother leaked the secret to some girl he'd fallen in love with. When the other brother found out, he went out to get revenge, with a huge blade in hand. Wait, why'd he bring a blade? Nami looked upset. Oh, it was an unusually large one, too. Parts of it were stained black with blood. He brought it with him to where his brother was. I don't need to hear how the story ends, Nami said, covering her ears. I ignored her and continued. The younger brother was with his girlfriend when he found them. The older brother grabbed him by the hair and pulled him to the ground, then brought down that long, dull black blade as hard as he could. No! Blood sprayed from his brother's neck as his head rolled off. The older brother then let out a scream, and seeing the girl about to run, he plunged the blade down into her chest. Stop it, Alan. A spray of blood landed on the Hypericum flowers, which inspired their name, OTO-GIRI-SOU, the brother-cut flowers. Nami breathed out and then glared at me. Enough already. You're such a creep. The sun had set before I'd noticed, and the sky was getting darker. Not only that, the rain clouds seemed to be getting worse. Then a thought crossed my mind. Nami, I know you're going to try to get revenge on me for telling you a weird story. Hey, more importantly, are we heading the right way? I feel like this place looks really different compared to before. Now that she mentioned it, it did look different. Hey, I'm not the one who made this road, so don't ask me. What's with you? You're not going to take any responsibility for getting lost, are you? What? You're going to tell me that after you made me drive all the way while all you did was sleep? Fine. Pull over then. I'm getting out. Okay, be my guest. Get out of the car now. I will. Look out! It happened so suddenly a car just came out of nowhere. The mountain road was small and there wasn't enough room for 2 cars on it. Ah! Alan! I stepped on the brakes as hard as I could, but my feet felt no resistance. It was like stepping on the air. There was no response. Oh shit, the brakes don't work. Ah! We're going to crash. Then I veered off into the darkness. A fish! Huh? The car came to a stop, as if it had struck something. My heart was pounding and my pulse was through the roof. Are you okay, Nami? I'm fine. But did you shout out about a fish just now, Alan? Yeah. Wait here. I'm gonna go take a look. I peeked under the car. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary there, but there were scratches on the bumper, like the car had hit something. Nami got out of the car too. What was it? It was a huge fish standing right here. We bumped right into it. Nami looked pale. Are you being serious right now, Alan? I quickly changed my tone. Haha, as if there'd be a fish here in the mountains. Anyway, I'm worried about the brakes. I'm gonna take a quick look. I felt a chill pass through me and my feet froze in place. Nami covered her ears and squatted down. I gasped and watched the giant tree fall. The cedar tree had split in 2 and it was smoldering, pushing black smoke up into the air. Below it, my car had been smashed beyond repair. How? Flat as a pancake, huh? Well, at least we're both alive. We should get going. We can't just stand around here after all. We fished out a bag with an extra set of clothes we packed in a flashlight and started walking to what seemed like the light of a house. Hey, what if it's not a house? Nami seemed really scared. Maybe the lightning really shocked her. So like, can we just not go to the house? My legs were also paralyzed with fear. What's wrong? I've been feeling something grabbing at my feet for a while now. Nami shined the flashlight down on my feet so I could see what it was. Hypericums. I couldn't believe it. As I was walking, they had twisted around my ankles, though I'm not sure how. Looks like a snake. Nami's voice quivered. Let's hurry. I trampled over the Hypericums as we ran. This is nothing. This is nothing. I took Nami's hand and made a run for it. Once we came out of the forest, the view suddenly opened up. Wow. It's huge. It was a big old mansion built with brick walls, and it had been constructed in the Western style. A glistening iron gate was set in front of the huge garden. Seems like the sort of place you'd find in a ghost story. The lights are on, though. Let's go inside. Nami seemed eager to go inside, where we'd be safer. Yeah, we should hurry. I agreed with her. There were more Hypericums here than I could see. I should call this place the Hypericum Manor. Hey! Nami spoke softly. Flowers are calling out to us. Huh? Oh, blood! Huh? I just saw blood. I don't think think we should go inside. What are you talking about? What do you think will happen to us if another tree gets struck by lightning? Do we have to go inside? Okay. Oh, come on. My controller. There we go. I'm here with you. I put my hand around Nami's waist. At that moment, my body got pushed away from Nami. I spun around and hit the ground. Ow! Sorry, I only just started practicing that move, and I didn't think I'd execute it so flawlessly. I had no idea that Nami had been practicing self-defense techniques. Then I... Trying to hide how bashful I felt, I scratched at my head as I passed through the gate. Nami and I walked into the sea of hypericums. It's like we're walking through a hypericum garden. The brick road leading to the mansion was hard to walk because it was so bumpy. I feel like I'm stepping on something. Light it up so I can see. Shining the light down at our feet. Ah! There were animal bones scattered all over the ground. They were scattered everywhere, so I didn't know what was what, but it looked like they were the bones of cats, dogs, and mice. That's when I said... This isn't a cemetery, is it? Then we kept walking. Wait. Several meters from the entrance, Nami stopped. Look at the shadow of that tree. Somebody's there. Where? I shined the flashlight over. The light reached over a long arm of the tree. Nobody's there. Then I moved the light up. Ah! Looked like a brown severed head had been strung up on a branch. You've got to be kidding me, I laughed. What? Look at it. It's a wasp nest. They're poisonous and powerful insects, though. Some people have been killed by the things. Oh, let's go. Just then, the nest started to tremble. A swarm of wasps. I tried to shield Nami from the wasps as we ran. We knocked on the heavy door at the entrance. Hello? Sorry, we let ourselves through the gate. There was no reply. I pushed and pulled on the door, but it didn't do any good. The window, Nami. We ran to the window on the side, and I slammed the flashlight into it. Nami quickly stuck her hand through and unlocked it. Thank goodness that worked. Anyway, our first priority was to get in, so we went through the window. We broke the window. We should apologize for that together. Looking around, we were in a very spacious entrance hall. Hello? Is anybody home? We shouted several times, nice and loud. The only replies we got were our echoes. That's weird. They have the lights on, but they're not here. They must have forgotten to turn the lights off, I guess. There was a huge glass tank in the center of the room, and it was filled to the brim with murky water. It was a giant aquarium. Slight movement of the moss that stuck to the sides were kind of creepy, but the water was stagnant. There was a huge clock in the room and a large leather sofa. I feel like I've seen this room somewhere before, Nami said as she walked in front of me. There was a suit of armor with a dull silver gleam set beside the fireplace. I walked over to it. I was hoping to touch it until Nami, who had been looking at the aquarium, called out to me. The water! Formerly stagnant water swirled and rocked, and something that clearly wasn't mud or moss peeked out from behind the glass. Whoa! Hey, did you see what that was? I looked all around the aquarium, trying to figure out what sort of creature it was. There was a ladder on the other side of the aquarium. They must have put this here so they could drop in some food. I'm gonna try climbing up to the top. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Nami tried to stop me. I have a feeling something bad will happen if you do. To be honest, I felt the same way, but it was too late for that. No backing down now. I'll be fine. Just wait right there. I climbed up the ladder. Huh? The dirty water in the aquarium started moving around slowly, forming a clockwise spiral. Uh-oh. Hey, come down from there. Hurry! Spiral started spinning faster and faster. Eventually, something rose up to the surface. Whoa! It was the corpse of some kind of animal. Hey, is something the matter up there? Suddenly felt dizzy. I climbed down the ladder. A dog or a cat or something was in there. No way. Serious. And the thing is, didn't have a head. Nami looked disgusted. What's that sound? Coming from the second floor. Oh, somebody must be there now. Yeah, let's go. Oh, my jaw dropped. Suit of armor. It's gone. Huh? While we were screwing around with the aquarium, the suit of armor had disappeared without so much of a sound. Well, anyway, let's go check out the second floor. I said, my voice trembling. Nope. No. Slowly walked up the stairs. Eek! Nami grabbed hold of my arm. What's the matter? Being watched. I panicked. Made sure my hair looked perfect. In times like these, a guy has to make sure the girl he likes isn't afraid. I wouldn't be so sure. I don't particularly feel like we're being watched. Well, you're not exactly the sharpest guy around, Alan. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I can feel your love for me, Nami. As a friend, of course. That hurts. After going up the stairs, I saw that the hallway veered to both left and right. From what I can see, there weren't many doors lining the halls, so it gave me some idea of how big the rooms were. Which one, then? Start from here. We started walking over. Doors were all closed, but there was one door at the end that was open just a crack. Took a peek inside. It was dark. Is anybody in there? There was no reply. Seems like nobody's here. Yeah. You don't have to shut the door, Nami. I didn't. Surprised, I grabbed the doorknob. I pushed and pulled, but the door wouldn't budge. Did we just get shut in here? Look, a light. My eyes became accustomed to the darkness. I could see there was a very dim light in the room. Nami gripped my hand. Headed further in. Yes, stained. It's a diary. I reached out. Wait, she pulled my hand. Something's there. Concentrating my eyes and ears on the darkness, I can hear something. Seems like something was sneaking around the hallway. Through the hallway. Footsteps? Shrill and excited. It's gotta be something else. I've never heard footsteps like that before. Stared at the door in the darkness, and then the door slowly opened. Something going to pop out through the doorway? I held my breath for what seemed like a way too long, but nothing appeared. Ah! Nami screamed out of the blue. I could see inside because of the light in the hallway. When I turned around, I saw a woman next to Nami. Felt like all the blood had drained out of my body. A mummy! It was sitting in a wheelchair. It had been too dark to see up until now. What I thought had been cloth-covered table was actually the mummy's knees, with the diary placed in her lap. Let's get out of here. I was so worked up that I stumbled over my own legs. That's when I heard footsteps. Run for it, Nami! I practically fell down the stairs. It's still coming after us. And then, my whole field of vision went black. Alan? Power went out. Couldn't make any hasty moves now. Alan, we need to get some light in here. Quick! I was sure I brought my flashlight with me. Did I leave my flashlight somewhere? It's on the sofa. Let's go get it. Just watch your step, okay? We held hands as we moved through the darkness. If the lights were on, we'd look pretty stupid right now, wouldn't we? We probably would. Even though I was alone with Nami in the dark, the creepy situation we were in kept me from getting turned on at all. If anything, it was making me feel frustrated. Nami, let's go to the beach next month. You can wear a bikini. A G-string bikini. Why are you being so dumb at a time like this? Come on. You don't understand how a guy feels. There it is. I picked up my flashlight and flipped the switch. Shit, it won't turn on. All sorts of weird stuff's been happening ever since we came to the mansion. Did it run out of batteries? Desperate, I tried shaking it hard, back and forth. Uh-oh. It's not turning on. Not again. Come on, hurry. But even so, it's not working. Flashlight wouldn't turn on. Those creepy footsteps were coming closer and closer in the darkness. Hey, it's coming! Ah! It's on! What in the world was walking towards us? I shined the light to the west end, but I couldn't see anything there. Nami? Do you think what we saw really was a mummy? Huh? What makes you say that? A mummy, a missing suit of armor, strange noises, and a weird presence. It's all kind of hard to believe. How does he already know about the missing suit of armor? That's exactly what I was thinking. Could this be part of some elaborate prank? Maybe the owner of this place gets a kick out of screwing around with anybody unlucky enough to wander in here lost. Yeah, it's a little too bizarre to be true, huh? I'm gonna look for that mummy again. What? I didn't get a good look at it last time. I need to see whether or not it's real. Yeah, you're right. And at that moment, there was a barely audible sound. Huh? What was that? I tried shining the light in the direction the sound had come from. There was a black cat with a bell tied to it. Here, kitty kitty. Nami picked up the cat after it walked up to her and started petting it. Well, I'll get going. You can wait here, Nami. No, I'm taking this kitty with us. Oh. The lights seem to be going out. We climbed up the stairs, lit only by the flashlight's dim light. Nami took well to the cat. I tried to pet the cat too, but it didn't like me much, and it ran off. When I opened the door, the lights were on, and both the wheelchair and the mummy were gone. Oh. Nami had spotted the diary, which had fallen on the floor. When I picked up the old leather-bound diary, I noticed how thick and heavy it was. Flipping through to the end, I saw that the last page was dated 6 years ago, and there's blood on it. There were drops of bright red blood on that page from 6 years ago. Only the ink's dry. His blood is fresh. What's the meaning of this? I've always been disgusted by blood, so the sight of it made me feel dizzy. Something must have happened here. Let's leave. We headed out into the hallway. The suit of armor! The suit of armor that had disappeared earlier was now standing in our way. Run! I shouted as I ran. Alan! Nami! We couldn't keep going forward. But what's happening? There was nothing holding us back, no wall before us, yet no matter how much we tried to move our legs, all we could manage to do was stomp our feet. We're going backwards, little by little. This is ridiculous. Was there some kind of machine set up in the hallway? Both of us got blown back. Whoa! The moment we tried to turn around, we were smacked into the aquarium glass. We'd been sent back. Someone was forcing us not to leave. Are you okay, Nami? Nami picked herself up. I wanted us to get away from the aquarium as quick as possible. Should we go back to the entrance again, or should we try to find another way out? I'll do whatever it takes, Nami said. I thought we should get out of this mansion one way or another. I started to formulate our plan of action. Okay. We'll make it look like we're heading back to the entrance, but we'll make a break for the hallway on the right. Bust open a window there and make our way out through that instead. We should put a little more thought into it than that. Is that a plan? Is that plan a little too simple? I took a look around the entrance hall. Alan, Nami said in a quick, quiet shout. Huh? What? Somebody's here. I don't hear anything, Nami. I can hear somebody talking. Nami started talking. Started walking. But where are you going? I'm going to go look for them. Wait! I stopped her without thinking. We know that somebody's here. This isn't our house. We have to go and tell them we're in here. Nami was raised well. It was the proper thing to do. Ah! Whoa! I almost fainted. In the darkness, I could see the flash of a pair of eyes and the figure of a girl who was floating in the air. She looked at me for a moment, and then she vanished. Did you see that? I did. Then I said, this is bad. We have to get out of here. I turned to face Nami. There's something we have to do before we escape, Nami said. Let's go and check through the rooms. I didn't expect to hear that from Nami, but I can't say I didn't understand her eagerness to find out who was behind this. Okay, I understand. But you can't act surprised no matter what happens. Same goes for you, Alan. We started our search from the bottom. I opened the closest door. What's this room? Looked like it was being used for storage. All sorts of things were in here, covered in dust and strewn about haphazardly. Be careful, Nami. We entered nervously. Alan, what's wrong? I followed Nami's gaze to the door that we had just come through. There, 2 straw dolls had been driven to the door with spikes. These spikes are brand new. Straw dolls looked like they had been made. They had just been made, and there were 2 of them. Why are there 2 of them? Maybe it'd be too lonely up there, with just 1 straw doll. I'm getting the feeling we should leave. Nami left the room in a hurry. She was probably thinking the same thing that I was thinking. Those 2 straw dolls must have been Nami and me. Wait. Don't go out by yourself. I ran after Nami in a panic. As I chased after her, I started to feel like this whole mansion was brimming with someone's hatred. We returned to the entrance hall. Seems like we still have a long night ahead of us, doesn't it? What should we do? Clearly, somebody's here. Somebody's planning something. But what could they be planning? Nami plopped down on the leather-bound sofa. Oh, what's that doing there of all places? Nami took a peek deeper into the fireplace. There was a black rotary phone covered in ash there. I guess they ran out of firewood, huh? Not burning at all, though. Maybe we can use this phone to call someone. Looks like it's dead. Nami showed me that the cord had been cut. Whoa! The phone with the cord that had been cut was ringing. Pick up the phone, Alan. Unable to ignore it, I picked up the phone. The phone seemed to have a connection, but I couldn't hear anything. Hello? Hello? Suddenly, cold white air came pouring out of it. Whoa! Did it just rip off my ear? I dropped the phone without thinking, and the icy air kept pouring out. Do I still have an ear? You do. What does it look like? It's purple. The phone had stopped spraying cold air, but not before it had frozen the whole carpet. It was ridiculously cold. Don't touch it. It'll only make the frostbite worse. I wouldn't dare. I don't even wear glasses, because I always end up snapping them in... What? Nami used a handkerchief to do a quick emergency treatment. Man, I never expected the phone would be rigged up like that. It made me feel incredibly angry. Maybe it was some sort of booby trap for any would-be robbers. Or a direct line to a snow lady. As if. What? My nerves were shot. It's coming from the 2nd floor. Alright, let's go check it out. I pulled Nami along by the hand. Here it is. It was the 3rd door on the left on the 2nd floor. Going to open it. Okay. After opening the door and going inside, I found an ordinary-looking guest room with something gleaming on the table. It's a knife. It had several flowers twisted around it. Hypericums. I felt like I had just been struck with misfortune. What's wrong? I remembered something unpleasant. But the meaning of Hypericum flowers, it's revenge. So then this place is the mansion of revenge, huh? The tip of the knife's blade gleamed. Throw that knife away, Nami shouted. I opened the window and threw the knife out as far as I could into the darkness of the night. When I threw the knife out, I got worried about Nami, and I turned to look at her. Nami. Her face was pale. Let's get out of here. Took her by the hand. I feel something's very wrong here. I may be pretty dense sometimes, but even I can sense that much. Let's leave. I pulled Nami out of the room and shut the door with both my hands, as if I was sealing away something very unpleasant. The next room will be this one. I approached the door on the other side. Going to keep looking for them? Nami asked, seemingly about to cry. I can't just kick back and relax now, can I? I raised my voice at her. We might even have to spend the whole night here. The owner of the house just a little freaky, or are they actually trying to hurt us? We have to find out. The rant, Nami, stay quiet. I ripped the door open. There was a window on the other side of the room with a small desk in the left corner. There was also a bed. It was a very ordinary room. There's nothing here, is there? I closed the door. There's a room we still have to check. Over there. I intentionally said this in the most calm and formal tone I could muster, and I went straight down the hallway, further down the hallway. Nami followed me silently. We saw it before, though. Just in case, I took a peek into the room where we had met the mummy, but as I expected, there wasn't a mummy in there. The diary remained exactly where it had been dropped, too. 2 more rooms. I opened the door across from the mummy's room. Oh! What's the matter? Nami took a peek inside, and when I looked at her, I saw that she had a relieved expression on her face. Looks like a girl's room, huh? Curtains, the wallpaper, pink, decorations. I knew somebody who lived here. Somebody here's for sure. Should we have a look around? No, that would be a little... Room felt different somehow. It suddenly hit me that I was doing something that my heart wasn't a polite thing to do. Can't be here while she's around. I mean, it's a girl's room. Yeah, you're right. But she won't come back if she's not here. Hiding out to pop and scare us later. Go look for them for real. I shut the door. I wonder if they aren't in here. I stood in front of the next door. Huh? Not here. What's wrong? She's scared. Doesn't make any sense. The big deal. Huh? It's locked. See? Screwed in around. Hello? Anybody in there? This door is... Alan, I'm hungry. Where did that come from? I'm starving. Yeah, let's go. Let's eat something. Yeah, sure. I walked up the door, grabbed the doorknob without hesitation. Let's hurry. Hard to believe you were acting so frightened up until now, Nami, I said with an air of mystery in my voice, and Nami chuckled a little. Oh? Maybe it's because you got so angry and fired up that it got me to chill out. Nami quickly headed into the room. I wonder. I couldn't dwell on it any longer. I just headed into the room. Nami headed past the side of the big table, over to the area behind the counter. Hey, Nami. Nami turned around and faced me. They've got a refrigerator here. Looked like an old-fashioned fridge, white with rounded edges. It had 2 doors, one on the top and one on the bottom. Think they've got something to eat? Your guess is as good as mine. Nami crouched down and opened the fridge's bottom door. Nothing in the fridge, huh? Totally cleaned out. Does anybody really live here? Well, I could settle for some ice cream at least. I opened the freezer door on the top. Inside, I found a black cat, frozen solid. I slammed the door shut in a panic. What's the matter? You seem shaken up somehow. No, I'm fine. There wasn't anything in there either. You liar. You found something. Don't try to fool me. You're going to come here later and try to have it all to yourself, aren't you? Nami laughed, and then she stood up. Nah, there really wasn't anything in there. I stood in front of the refrigerator so she couldn't open it. Well then, let me see. No, because... At that moment, I could hear a scream from far away. What happened? You seem scared. Did you not hear that? Hear what? It sounded like a woman screaming. No, I didn't hear anything. Oh, you're just trying to change the topic. That trick won't work on me. I'm gonna take a look around. I'll be right back. I headed to the exit. Wait, are you serious? I'm gonna eat all the ice cream myself then. Frozen worms for fishing, all that was in there. Sounds like a good flavor of ice cream to you? I said that as I headed out into the hallway, and Nami came running to catch up with me. Hey, hand me your lighter for a second. What are you doing? Nami was holding a candlestick. In the dining room, I feel a little easy without having a light. Grip the flashlight. Did you really hear something? I could see doubt in Nami's eyes as she looked at me. Yeah, it sounded like he. It was a long and mournful cry. Creepy. Why would they be shrieking? Could be a burglar. It's certainly possible. It would explain why the lights are on even when the owner's not home. Here to the left, the ceiling was getting lower, felt strangely gloomy. Flashlight lit up a small iron door. Door had been painted clumsily. I wonder if it's open. There's that voice. You heard it this time, didn't you? It's the same voice as before. We're going in. Struck with water. It's the back door. It's a greenhouse. Oh, I could hear what happened. The flame went out. Let's just leave it here. Lift the candlestick. Alright. We trudged through the mud. I doubt it. What? Huh? No way. The expression of her face. That would mean... But you always have to scare me saying stuff like that. The glass. I shine the flashlight inside. Both shouted at the same time. There they are again. Hypericum flowers inside. The small yellow flowers were mixed in with all the other ornamental plants. A greenhouse of revenge. Don't say that. It's creeping me out. What? Look who's talking. No one's in there after all. Yeah, let's go back. No one was in there after all, were they? I considered going back to the mansion. It's true, yeah. It was pretty anticlimactic. And at that moment... Huh? What? When I shined the light of the greenhouse, I saw it swaying in the wind. Looked over at Nami's face. Her mouth was agape. Uh-oh. Alright, I'll race you to the door. What gives? The shriek. It's a race. Wait up. Ah, you made me fall, you jerk. Ah, it's so dark. Ah, I made it here first. And creepy, so dumb. And that's Nami. Nami's name in red. Even if it was actually a coincidence, why wouldn't her name be written there? Nami looked pale, dumbfounded. Door creaked and blew. Let's go back. Let's go. I tugged. Why? How? You're just overthinking it. Am I? It was a coincidence. It had to be. This is the first time we've ever been here for one. So what? Yeah, sure, it's weird. Trying to shout the fear away. Yeah, we'll catch a cold if we stay out in the rain like this. Let's head back. We felt gloomy. I felt sorry for her. Well, that's it. Hey, what? You feel like a shower? You're covered in mud. This is it. It's totally dark inside. Alright, let's start by washing our hands, huh? I went over to the sink for some reason. Da-da-da. It's blood! No. Even if you don't want any soap, I do. I jokingly threw a fit about it. If you insist, alright, I'll help you look for some. Nami opened the cabinet beside the mirror and looked inside. Looked like she was smiling a little again. Oh, right, I forgot. I walked out into the hallway. Where are you going? I'll be right back. Keep looking around for that soap. We left the candlestick outside, so I went through the gloomy hall and opened the iron door. The candlestick was gone, though. Weird. I shined my flashlight around, but I couldn't see it anywhere. I tilted my head in confusion as I returned to the bathroom. What was that about? Oh, nothing. Did you find the soap? No, I couldn't. Did you look in here? I pointed to the doors below the sink. Oh, no, I didn't look in there yet. Then it must be here. I squatted down and opened the doors. Ugh, a very unpleasant, rotten, and muddy odor drifted out from inside. I held my breath and looked in. S-shaped pipe. Made me want to throw up. I don't think so. A plastic box is just a medicine box. Ah, cockroaches. Pick it up. There have got to be as many medicines as there are illnesses, I said, but I was more interested in whether or not we'd be able to use the shower. I opened the sliding glass and checked out the shower room. Wow, it's spacious. Nami peeked in from behind me. I want to get washed up too. I'm all sticky and it stinks. It's gross. And then I... thought it would be a good idea to go in no matter how spacious it was. I thought it wouldn't be a good idea to go in. Alan? Maybe this is a bad time to ask this, but... Huh? Let's take a shower, okay? I'll make it quick. Just stay on guard out here, okay? Out there? I should have known. Okay. I'll be right back with our change of clothes. I rushed back to the entrance hall and brought back our bag from there. I spoke up by the sliding door. Anything weird happened while I was gone? No problems here. Oh man, I imagined Nami's body, and I figured there was no problem there either. I continued imagining what Nami looked like naked. Ah! That startled me. It was the scream of a butt-naked Nami. What's wrong? I was about to jump in there, but Nami jumped out first. It suddenly got hot. It was totally covered by a bath towel. Seems like the shower wasn't working right. There was steam everywhere, and hot water was spraying out. It almost looked like the shower itself was angry. Ah, hot, 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 hot. I couldn't even bring myself to get close enough to adjust the temperature. We should have a boiler in the basement. I'll go look for it. After heading down the stairs, I found the boiler room. There was a round boiler that seemed like it could start spitting out fire any second. I turned the spigot this way and that. Seemed to calm the boiler down. Everything would be fine now. The temperature was set to 100 degrees Celsius, 212 Fahrenheit. Who could have done this? I suddenly became worried about Nami. Nami, I hope she's okay all by herself. In a panic, I vowed to never leave Nami alone again as I ran to her. Nami! I shouted out loudly as I leapt into the bathroom. Oh, Nami had already changed her clothes and was drying her hair with a towel. Thanks. The shower works great now. Want to take a quick one too, Alan? No, I'm good. But you're still so dirty. I do feel kind of gross. Take a shower. You'll feel a lot better afterwards. Okay, Nami. If you say so. I'll keep watch outside. Nami stepped outside the bathroom. Nami, I shouted. Yes? She responded right away. I like that in a girl. We'll be out when I'm out. It was kind of a strange thing to say, really. It was the sort of thing spouses or couples in love might say to each other, and yet they still totally understand what it means. What exactly does that mean? Be out when you're out. I guess she didn't really understand. When I'm out of the shower, we'll be out of this mansion. So don't move a muscle until I come out. Yes, sir. I got naked and stepped into the shower. The bathroom felt nice. But it would have felt nicer if Nami had been in here with me, washing up, getting our bodies all clean. Huh? The tub had been filled with hot water before, I knew it, and saw something rise out of the tub. I saw two small faces. Girls. They looked exactly the same. Twins? Did these girls live here? I was just about to say something to them, but the twin girls just smiled at me and sunk down under the water. Hey, hey! The surface of the water swayed around. They had disappeared. Everything was gone, in fact. No girls. No hot water. Nothing. The tub was totally dry. Whoa. I tried to get out, but the door wouldn't open. Nami! I was trapped in here. I kept shouting out for Nami. Nami! Open the door! I keep calling out for her, but she wouldn't respond. Suddenly, there was a storm in the shower room. I guess I should have checked the weather report before taking a shower. Not that anyone would have expected a typhoon to strike them in the shower. Nami! Nami! I shouted at the top of my lungs. Then the suit of armor appeared out of nowhere. You're here? Where did you come from? I ran from it naked, but it quickly chased me down to the other side of the wall. The sliding door wouldn't open. Nami wasn't coming to save me. I was in big trouble. The suit of armor came right up to me, and then it heaved its sword into the air. I only had one shot at this. Brought down its sword. I dodged the sword by a hair's breadth. Sliding glass door got shattered. I dove through the hole without missing a beat. Nami! I fumbled with my change of clothes and jumped out into the hallway. Nami wasn't there. I was worried that something might have happened to Nami. Nami! Nami! I tried shouting to her, but she didn't reply. I saw the figure of someone in the hallway. It was a woman. She was wearing a white dress that was fluttering in the wind. It was Nami. When did she put on that dress? Nami! I ran after her, but then she started to float. She continued to stare straight at me as she floated up, until she seemed to get swallowed by the ceiling and vanished. I just stood there in a daze. Was I imagining that, or was it a ghost that had happened to look exactly like Nami? Ah! A pair of eyes flashed at me in the darkness, and I could hear laughter echoing around me. After that, only the wind was blowing. Nami. What in the world was going on with Nami? I have to find her no matter what, I thought to myself. I relied on my intuition. Where was Nami? This was the room. I was sure of it. Nami was sitting in the corner of the room, holding her knees. Nami? Alan? Nami was crying. What happened, Nami? I told you not to go anywhere. Don't run off like that. Alan, how did I get here? Why are you asking me? You don't know? Nami gulped, like a child. I was drying my hair, then suddenly I felt a man's arms around me. I don't know what happened after that. Nami looked cold. She was shivering. And someone else is here, just as I thought. I felt a chill run down my spine. I looked inside and I was surprised at what I saw. There were dolls lined up everywhere, on every table, every shelf. Every possible place that could have a doll did have a doll. Japanese dolls, French dolls, Indian dolls, Russian dolls. There were dolls from practically every country, princesses, dress-up dolls, and there were 2 of each of them. Why do they have 2 sets of every doll? Nami looked at the dolls confused. It's like they're all talking to me here, but I don't know why. They all feel so familiar to me. What she said gave me goosebumps for some reason. Let's just leave this room. Right as I said that, I looked at the dolls and I froze. Every single doll, which had been looking in all sorts of different directions until now, was now looking straight at me. All the dolls seemed to be staring at me and Nami. Before Nami could notice, I ushered her out of the room. And then I had a feeling that the dolls would call us to come back in, so I started running away. Nami suddenly stopped in her tracks. There were old lines comparing heights carved into a thick pillar that stuck out of the stucco wall. Judging by the height, they must have been 3 or 4 years old. Names were etched next to the lines. Nami and Naomi. It's my name. Hey, cut it out, Nami. You make it sound so weird. I compared my height here with another girl. Hey, I chided her, feeling flustered. There are plenty of people named Nami. Don't get any funny ideas just because this girl has the same name as you. Right. You're right. Nami's expression returned to normal. This Nami is probably older by now, right? Oh! A crack ran up the pillar before my very eyes. It was still moving up. When it reached about where my eyes are, it formed a new height line. That new line was Nami's height now. How could it be? I wondered who Naomi was. The face Nami was making made her look like she was dead inside. Alan? I was a twin. Huh? It's true. I was a twin. I had a sister named Naomi. Stop it, Nami. Quit fooling yourself. We lived here with Mom. I yelled at Nami to snap her out of confusion. Hey, listen to me. Suddenly I could hear a piano. Nami's head jerked up. That piano. Nami broke into a run like she had just snapped. I chased after her. Nami and I entered the piano hall. The piano was being played by a woman who was wearing a white dress. That woman was Nami. Nami? I did a double take, and the woman who looked just like Nami had disappeared. The piano was still playing as if it was a player piano. I was a twin. Nami said it, loud and clear. My sister and I lived here together with our mom. Wind blew through the room. Wind blew through the room. It sounded surreal to me, but Nami didn't react to it at all. There was a man. My mom was very nice to him. I liked him. Was he a relative of yours? He seemed like a dad to me, or maybe a little brother. He might have even just been one of my mom's guests. Get it together, Nami. You're an only child. Your house is in Tokyo. You've got 2 amazing parents there now, don't you? I'm not so sure. Nami put her hands up to her head. I feel like my head's gonna split apart. I remember. Nami didn't look like her usual self. I was born and raised here. Nami, calm down. I know you've been through a lot today. Your nerves have got to be shot. But if you take a second and think about it with a clear head, you'll realize that none of what you're saying makes sense. But, Nami shouted as she cried. My real mom was here. I had a twin sister named Naomi, too. 2 of us compared our heights here. I remember it. Don't give me that nonsense. Your mom's waiting at home for you now, you know. We just need to get out of the mansion. Nami, let's get out of here through the window. No. Nami stood up. This is my house, after all. Nami, you need to chill out. What about your mom and dad in Tokyo right now? Your mom told me she named you after your birthday. Na... Nagatsu Nikai, July 3rd. She's the one who named you, Nami. What do you have to say about that? She just made that story up, Nami cried. She took me in after I left this place. Yeah, the memories are coming back to me now. More of them, and they're clearer than before. I'm telling you, those are all just a bunch of... I know how dangerous it is for you to stay here any longer. You have to get out of here. Alone, Alan. Nami, go. There's something in my past that I'm starting to remember. And I don't want to have to tell you what it is. So what about your past? I shouted. If it's your past, it's my past. And then... I wanted to wrap up all the pain that Nami was feeling. Nami trembled in my arms. I'm scared, Alan. I'm scared. She clung to me like a baby. I have a feeling I stabbed my mom. That's stupid. The only thing I could do at a time like this is scold her. I did it, though. With a sword, Nami shouted. I stabbed her, my own mom. We did it together, me and Naomi. I just looked at Nami, not saying anything. And when did this happen, Nami? You're saying you have a sister now and that you lived here with her? Can you tell me when that was? Because you've been living in that same house in Tokyo since elementary school. Ah, none of it makes sense. Nami was becoming hysterical. Calm down, Nami. Okay, let's say you were adopted. Even if that's the case, it means you haven't lived here since you were in elementary school. The oldest you could have been when you lived here was 6 or 7 tops. Are you seriously going to tell me that a 6-year-old girl and her sister stabbed their own mom with a sword? Ah! Nami ran out of the room. Nami! I chased after Nami as fast as I could, and... I thought about how to put a stop to Nami's confusion. Nami was shivering in the corner of the room like a cowardly kitten. Nami, those memories you have aren't real. Put that nonsense out of your head right now. Nami shook her head weakly. I'm going to kill... Huh? I'm going to kill her this time. Together with my sister. We're going to stab her to death. What are you saying, Nami? It's too late for us now. We're cursed. Nami, just calm down. Leave me alone. Just drop it. Nami pushed me away and ran off. I went looking for Nami. I knew that if I didn't find her now, something terrible would happen to her. How much time have I spent running around this mansion now? I could hear Nami scream, Alan, come here! Then... she's gonna be killed if I don't hurry up. That's what I thought to myself as I ran. Nami! Nami was just standing there in a daze. Alan, look, Nami said as she handed me something. It was actually 2 diaries written by a mother. There was a diary with Nami's name and another with Naomi's name. These diaries prove that I was her child. These prove that Naomi and I were her children. I laughed, though I had no reason to. Just because it has your name, Nami, that doesn't mean it's about you, does it? Even if it has this? Nami showed me a page that has her date of birth written on it. Even the blood type is the same. This is me. My mom wrote these diaries about me and Naomi. Nami covered her face with her hands and flew out of the room. Nami, wait! Don't follow me! Nami looked back at me with tears in her eyes. I've let somebody die. Even if I haven't, I'm about to let somebody die. That's ridiculous. Oh, I can see their blood on my hands. These are the hands of a killer. I wouldn't let you kill anybody. Alan, listen to me, Nami. You're the one who needs to listen, Alan, Nami shouted. I might end up killing you. Nami cried and vanished into the darkness of the hallway. Nami! Our relationship is going to be done for at this rate. I reflected on the situation. I may not be able to change her mind, but I can still help her. I found Nami. It was nighttime, but heat waves were moving through the courtyard, and she was standing in the middle of the scene. Many twin girls were crying in front of her bloodstained sword. Nami, I shouted. Don't come any closer, Alan. These are all the girls who couldn't pass away after they killed their mom. Nami cried and shouted, just like my sister. The ghosts of the twin girls vanished with a gust of wind. Nami, I shouted without thinking. Just like the other girls, Nami vanished. It was like she'd melted into the darkness. Nami! I trembled just like Nami did when she went crazy, and then I found where she was. Nami stood there like she'd been frozen in place. Alan. Nami. I tried to walk up to her, but even though she was just standing in place, she began to float up into the air. Nami! I tried to run over. Something white appeared before me. We killed her. It was another Nami. It was Naomi. You're Naomi? Naomi looked up at Nami and said, We killed our mom. What? Nami, we killed our mom. And then Nami responded in a daze. We killed our mom. Stop it, Nami. I yelled at her, shocked. It's true, Nami. We killed our mom. Hey, stop it! I tried to grab Naomi. Whoa, my hand passed right through her. Nami, you must be punished too. Mom is waiting for you. Naomi vanished and Nami fell unconscious. Nami! I picked Nami up and hugged her. Nami looked at me in a daze. I didn't kill her, did I? I didn't kill my mom, right? Nami had finally lost it. Of course you didn't, Nami. Get those stupid thoughts out of your head. Believe in yourself. Nami's eyes darted about as if she was doubtful. I didn't kill her, right? Nami. I grabbed hold of Nami's shoulders. Let's assume it's all true and you left this mansion when you were little, and you just forgot about it until today. That means you haven't seen your mom in a decade. When could you have killed your mom? Right. You're right, Nami said, still in a daze. I was sent away from this house, wasn't I? My mom abandoned me. Why was I the only one she abandoned, though? Don't be stupid. Save it for later. But she did throw me out. Everything started shaking, and Nami was screaming hysterically, like she'd gone out of her mind. Why didn't she raise me? The mansion shook. Nami! Startled, I looked straight at Nami. Nami was moving away from me. It was like some unseen force was pulling her, but she didn't scream, not even once. If anything, the look on her face was that of a child being comforted by a doting mother. Nami! Where are you going? I chased after Nami, but she disappeared into the darkness down the hall. Nami! There was no sign of her. The mansion had stopped shaking. I spotted a door that had been opened just a crack. I forced the door open. Nami looked over at me. We killed our mom. She was acting so weird. You're not Nami. You're Naomi. We killed our mom. The expression on Naomi's face didn't change. She just kept repeating the same thing. Why are you even telling me this bullshit? Where's Nami? I pressed Naomi to answer me. We killed our mom. Naomi started to cry. As her children, we must be punished, and I have already received my punishment. You mean you're already dead, huh? Same fate must happen to Nami. Because if it doesn't, Nami will experience the effects of the curse, and she will be mummified. Okay, I understand. I thought I'd get all the information I could out of her here. Why did the two of you kill your mom? Because of the curse. The curse upon this estate. This estate? The mansion's cursed? It was built in medieval Europe, and the curse has existed since those days. Naomi spoke in a lifeless voice. At the beginning of the Meiji period, in 1868, the estate was sold to a Japanese man. Then it was taken apart piece by piece, shipped to Japan and rebuilt here. But the curse came with it. But the curse is eternal. And the curse makes children kill their parents? Naomi disappeared. Wait, Naomi! I shouted. Then a door opened, as if it had been opened to guide me. I ran into the hallway. The door before me opened without making a sound. Nami! I found Nami inside of that room. Look at how many there are, Nami suddenly pointed out the window. It was pointing to the garden in the back of the house. There was a row of graves. So many graves. The row was lined with pairs of graves. They're the graves of twins. That's right, the graves of twins who killed their mother and were punished for it. I didn't realize exactly when she'd arrived, but Naomi was standing there with us. That is the curse of this estate. The curse of this mansion that was brought here from the west. The curse that makes twins kill their parents. Her voice was cold. On our 7th birthday, we stabbed our mom with this sword. The sword on the floor rose up, flew through the air, and fell in the palm of Nami's hand. I've already received my punishment. You need to hurry and be punished too, or the curse will mummify you. Oh, Nami and I shouted at the same time. The sword gleamed. In the light, we could see a scene of 7-year-old twin sisters stabbing their mom with the sword. The sword vanished, along with Naomi. Nami was looking totally pale. That was me. We killed our mom. Stop it, Nami. I have to hurry and receive my punishment from my mom. Nami started walking faster. Alright, then I'm going too. I decided to go with Nami. Don't come after me. Nami stopped me, looking pale. Why not? Because I'm going to be punished. That's why I'm going with you. Being punished means I'm going to be killed by my mom. I know that, I said. So I'm going to be punished along with you? Tears came into Nami's eyes. Ellen, don't hurt me like this. Nami ran into a nearby room. Nami! I ran after her immediately. It was a strange room. On the other side of the room, there was a tiled wall depicting Mother Mary with her child. Nami stood in the center of the room. This is it. This is the prayer room. I noticed 2 worn-out spots in the carpet, as if someone was often kneeled here. These spots were left by people praying. Many generations of people have kneeled here in a prayer. I'm sure that my mom was one of them. Nami kneeled on that spot and positioned herself to pray. At that very instant, the air in the room changed. I could hear children crying. The voices seemed to come from the walls. Look at this. It was an old newspaper article stuck on the wall with a pin. The clipping was from 1869, right near the start of the Meiji era. The font used in the article was unique to that era. I can't even read that. That looks like a bunch of scrambled graphics. That might be a graphical glitch. Mother's Twin Killings was the title of the article. It was about the unexplained murders that occurred in the mansion that had been deconstructed in the West, carried over and reconstructed. The article stated that there was an ominous legend concerning the estate even before it was reconstructed here in Japan. Any mother who lives here always gives birth to twins, and she always ends up killing them due to her curse. Oh, it was actually the other way around, I shouted. Naomi was lying. It was actually the mom who was cursed to kill her twins. The air in the room started to shake again. The children began to weep silently. They seemed to be trying to tell me that what I was thinking was correct. The diary. We should be able to find out more from it. We need to find her mom's diary. We headed to the mummy's room. The mummy wasn't there, but the diary had been left on the table. Oh, pages flipped open as I approached it. July 3rd, I gave birth to twins. That's where the diary started. July 4th, my children are so cute. Will the curse start up soon, though? July 5th, my right hand moved to kill my children. I need my husband to tie me down. July 6th, my husband suddenly passed away. Perhaps the curse is to blame for this, too. According to the diary, the mother was doing everything in her power to fight back against the curse and raise her daughters alone, despite all the problems she was having. July 3rd. It's their 3rd birthday. They are growing strong, but I'm not sure how long I can hold myself back from succumbing to the curse. July 7th. Oh, my hand moved to kill my children again. Nami screamed, asking why her mother didn't just leave the mansion. The diary answered her question. Mothers had tried to escape from the mansion with their twin children before. Every one of them had died a horrible death. July 10th. I tried to kill them again while the two of them were comparing their heights. July 5th. I can't raise them myself any longer. I'll send the two of them to an orphanage while I remain here. This way we can beat this curse. Goodbye, Naomi. Nami. My mother was trying to save me. Yeah, parts of the ink had become blotted. The ink must have been blotted by her tears. Nami hugged the diary, but still she had questions. Why did Mom get mummified, though? Because she defied the curse, I guess. And what about my sister? That's right. Why did Naomi die? She should have been sent to an orphanage like Nami was to get around the curse. Suddenly, I could hear Naomi's laughter. Naomi! Stop! Don't go to her, Nami. Let me go. I need to find out for myself. Nami shook me away and ran out of the room. Nami! As I tried to move forward, a sword slashed down right before my eyes. I wasn't sure what to do about the sword. No. Don't mess with me. I pulled out the sword, heaved it into the wall, and chased after Nami. I don't trust that sword. Nami! I felt a threatening presence behind me. Whoa! It was the sword. The sword was attacking me. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Someone was trying to force something into my hand as I fled. It was a sword, and it looked exactly the same as the other one. I didn't hesitate. Alright, bring it on. I took on the sword. The sword in the air came slashing down at me. No shit! I was fighting against the same sword I was holding. If I didn't take this thing down, it was going to kill me. Alan, help me! Nami's voice startled me, and I took another look at what was going on. What I'd been slashing at was Nami. I'd been trying to kill Nami. I never expected that I would be the one to kill Nami. No! I hurled the sword aside. The sword fell to the floor, but then a cobra rose, lifting its head up. Then the sword flew straight from left to right, before my very eyes. The sword, unheld by anyone, was swung down. Ah, Alan! I could hear Nami scream from far away, and then my vision went black. I was enveloped by a silent darkness, and then it gradually lifted. I was in that mummy's room. A woman was sitting in a wheelchair right in front of me. She was a classy-looking lady, and very beautiful. I could tell at first glance that she was Nami's mom. What was going on here? Nami's mom was knitting something. What's happening? Then I understood what was going on. This was Nami's mom before she became a mummy. Why was I seeing this? Nami's mom didn't even seem to notice that I was there. I'm a wall. Suddenly, I realized I'd been turned into one of the walls of this room. Nami's mom continued knitting. All I could do as a wall was sit there and watch her. It appeared to be raining outside. I could hear footsteps in the hallway, and the door opened. The person who came in was Naomi, soaking wet because of the rain. Mom, I wanted to see you again. It was a vision of the past. This was before Naomi died and before her mom got mummified. I was being shown this scene from the wall's perspective. You must leave, Naomi, her mom implored, looking pale. Go back this instant. You cannot be here. Why, Mom? Do you hate me? I walked all the way here in the rain. It took an hour and a half to walk all the way up that mountain path at night. Naomi's mom was racked with tears. Don't do this, Naomi. You mustn't. Your presence here will only summon forth the power of the curse. You're wrong. There is no curse, Mom. I just want to see you. Naomi kneeled before her mother's wheelchair. I heard everything, Mom. I know you sent us to the orphanage to protect us. I know you got yourself into that accident intentionally crippling yourself to the point of being physically incapable of hurting us. So I want to stay by your side, Mom. I want to be the one to take care of you now. Welcome home, Naomi. That said, I do not wish to see you. Mom! I love you, Mom! Naomi took her mom's hand and cried. Naomi's mom shook off her hand, moved the wheelchair to the door, and opened it. Get out, Naomi. I never want to see your face again. Mom. Naomi's mom cast her out and shut the door. I understand, Mom, Naomi said on the other side of the door. I'll just stay here today, in the room I stayed in when I was a kid. Just let me sleep here for one night. That's all I ask. Her mom didn't respond. She only clenched the armrests of her wheelchair. Her whole body was trembling, like she was trying to hold something back. Then suddenly, the scene changed. I had turned into a wall in Naomi's room. There was an old bed there, and the grown-up Naomi was sleeping in it. That's when the door opened. Her mom entered, sitting in the wheelchair. She moved the wheelchair forward and looked down at Naomi's sleeping face. She was clutching a sword in her right hand. She raised it up. Oh no! I was screaming in my heart. It wasn't by her own will that she had raised the sword. Even as her body tried to bring the sword down, it wasn't her intent. It was the force of the curse upon this mansion that moved her. Oh, I don't want to kill you. The mom spoke as if she could barely squeeze the words out. Naomi, run! Whether it was from being tired by the long walk or the nostalgic feeling of being back in her old bed, Naomi was sleeping like a baby. Naomi! Oh, damn it. Naomi! Her mother screamed with the sword raised up in the air. She was fighting. The curse was trying to bring the sword down, but her mom was fighting not to do it. It must have taken every fiber of her being to retain control. Both of her hands trembled as they held the sword, and sweat poured down her brow. Her face was twisted with pain. It looked like she couldn't even speak anymore. She was biting her lips so hard that they were bleeding. She was giving everything she had to fight against the power of the curse. Finally, Naomi opened her eyes. Mom? To Naomi, in that moment, it must have looked like her mom was trying to kill her. Help! Help! Naomi shouted as she ran out of the room. Ah! I could hear Naomi scream. The scene changed again. This time I was the wall below the stairs. Naomi had fallen down the stairs, broken her neck, and died. Her mother looked down from upstairs. Naomi! She screamed. Then somebody got up from Naomi's corpse. It was Naomi, but she was a ghost. She floated in the air and stood next to her mom. I'm sorry, Mom. I died without you being able to kill me, but I swear I'll make it up to you, Naomi said. I'll call my sister Nami here, and then the two of us are together. And when the two of us are together, she reached out, holding the sword from earlier. I'll have you kill her with this sword. No, I couldn't, her mother screamed. Naomi, you mustn't do such a thing. Her mom screamed in despair. I'm not going to kill anyone, even if the curse takes me for it. Tears began to pour from her mother's eyes. You're going to die then, biting your tongue. Wind blew through the mansion, and the sound of laughter echoed from nowhere in particular. Ah! She screamed. In the strong wind, her mom breathed out white smoke as she changed into nothing but skin and bones, and her hair turned white. Nami's mom had been transformed into a mummy, and then the scene went dark. I remained there, still in the darkness. Come on, Nami. Let's go. I could hear... Oh, come on, Nami. Let's go. I could hear Naomi's voice. Mom's waiting for us. Yes, Naomi, Nami replied. Naomi was going to lead Nami to the mummy. Don't go, Nami, I tried to say, but I was unable to speak. It was pitch black all around me. We killed our mom, didn't we? Nami's voice faded away. She's wrong. You didn't do it, Nami. I struggled, but it was all for naught. There in the darkness, I suddenly felt a disgusting presence. It was the spirit of the mansion. Even though I wasn't able to make a sound, I screamed in the only way that I could to the spirit. Damn you! You turned me into a wall, and now you're trying to kill Nami? Indeed I am. The spirit responded to me in much the same way, in words without a voice. The twins that are born here will kill their mother. This is the curse that I have cast. Who in the hell are you? I am the original owner of this mansion. the spirit replied. In the forest of Borgonjni in the year 1800, dear God, 1800, I gave birth to twin princesses here in this mansion. Later on, I was stabbed to death by the two of them with my own sword. They killed me because they lusted over my position of authority. I was dead, and yet I wasn't dead, for I had placed a curse on this mansion and on this sword. A curse that would lead the twins to kill their mothers? That's right. I started with my two daughters. I had them each bear twins, and each pair of twins killed their mothers. You got your revenge then. So why does the curse still exist? Because greed and hatred still exists in the human heart. The same greed and hatred that my two daughters felt are what is keeping the curse alive. The presence of the spirit was gone, and the darkness around me gradually became brighter. I was now a wall in the second-floor hallway. Naomi was leading Nami as they walked to the other side. Each of them were holding a bouquet of hypericums. The sealed door squeaked open. Nami and Naomi disappeared into that room. Was Nami going to be killed by her mom, the mummy in there? Nami. Nami. Nami! All I could do was keep shouting her name in a voice that could not be heard, shedding tears of regret that could not fall, and sobbing with breaths I couldn't breathe. And then the wheelchair appeared. There was no mummy on it, just an empty wheelchair. It charged forward at me, but since I was a wall, there was no way for me to dodge it. The wheelchair got busted into pieces. Something strange had happened. I was now standing in front of the wall. I wasn't a wall anymore. I was myself again. Somehow, the wheelchair breaking itself against me must have set me free. Nami! I ran to the room that had been sealed off. Nami! The sealed room remained shut down tight like it was before. I tried to force it open, but it wouldn't even budge. Open the door, Nami! I remembered what the wheelchair had done, and I slammed my body into the door as hard as I could. I got knocked back, but then the door suddenly became transparent. I could see into the room, and I could hear voices too. Nami and Naomi were kneeling there. The mummy was sitting on a large chair right in front of the two of them. They seemed to have already started performing a ceremony. It is time. Let us receive our punishment from our mom, Naomi said. Right. The two of us killed our mom, after all, Nami replied. The curse of the mansion must be what was making them kill her, just like the twin princesses who killed the queen. It's time, Mom. Naomi and Nami joined hands and said to their mom in unison, Please, punish us. And with that, the sword at her side began to glow. The sword emitted a low-frequency sound and began to float in the air, landing in the hands of their mummified mom. Their mom, the mummy, starting to shake as if pressured by the sword. Oh, no! The mummy began to groan as it stood up, and Naomi and Nami bowed before her. The mummy slowly raised the sword into the air. Stop! Oh no. Nami's mom loved her daughter so much that she wasn't going to beat that curse in the end. But she wasn't going to beat the curse in the end, was she? Stop it! Please, stop! The mummy heaved the sword down. No. The mummy's hands were still frozen in the air. One force was trying to bring the sword all the way down, while another was fighting to keep it up. There, inside the mummy's body, was a battle between the power of the curse and the power of love. I saw it then. Inside the hollow sockets of the mummy's eyes was blood. She was crying tears of blood. Nami! Cry out for your mom! I barely managed to get her to hear me. Look at her, Nami! Your mom is trying to save your life. Nami gasped and looked up at her mom. Mom? She could see her mom's bloody tears. Mom? The mummy still held the sword in place, trembling. I love you, Mom! Nami screamed with all her heart. And at that moment, the mummy began shining and then burst into pieces. The transparent door was blown open. Nami! I ran over to her. Alan! Naomi fell to the floor, turned into a shadow, and vanished. We need to run, Nami. I led her out of there. The suit of armor appeared before us. Whoa! Look out, Alan. The suit of armor unsheathed its sword and came slashing at me. But I had no weapon or powers to use against it. We're not gonna die just yet. Still holding on to each other, the two of us ran into the suit of armor at full speed. The suit of armor wouldn't even budge. It flung its large arms around, coming for us, but something was off about it. The suit of armor started spewing some sort of yellow steam from its whole body, as it took 2 or 3 more steps in our direction. The suit simply collapsed. The steam coming out of it changed to a bluish color. From the scattered pieces of the suit of armor, that green cat stepped out. Its eyes flashed at us, and then it disappeared. That green cat? Was that the physical manifestation of the curse? Oh, where did that come from? Explosions started happening all over the place. Hurry! By the time we made it down the stairs, the entrance hall had already erupted in flames. We'll go out the back. I grabbed Nami's arm and ran. Ah! The flaming pillar fell to the ground, separating us. Are you okay, Nami? The air was thick with black smoke and heat. It was hard to breathe. I couldn't even open my eyes. I can't take it anymore, Alan. I reached my hand out to her voice. Don't say that. We're gonna make it through this alive. For your mom's sake. For Naomi's, too. Suddenly, at that moment, there was a bright light. It was a golden light, shining just beyond the flames and the smoke. I couldn't bring myself to open my eyes, but I could still see it somehow. I could believe in it. That way! I aimed for the light, holding onto Nami's hand as we ran. Oh! The air around us had suddenly changed. It seemed like we'd made it out the back. We made it, Nami! The boiler was about to explode. We had to get a little further away from the house, so we kept running. The wind struck my cheeks. I was finally able to open my eyes a little, although they still stung from all the smoke. I turned around to see how far we'd run from the mansion. It's falling apart. The house where I was born and raised. My sister's house. My mom's house. The wind was blowing. It was cold and refreshing. It made me think clearly again, and so I breathed the fresh air in deep. Nami, like me, was taking deep breaths of it. Far away from us, with its back to the darkness, was a blackened mountain of debris. My vision had become clear enough to see that the mansion had burned completely to the ground. You hadn't pulled me along. Alan, I'm sure that Nami looked at me, and then she softly whispered, "Thank you." No, it wasn't me, I said. The light guided me. The light? Yeah. Pretty sure it was your mom's light. Either hers or maybe your sister's, right? We looked up at the night sky. It looked so beautiful. Oh, Nami said in a quiet voice. From the burning rubble, we could see something shining, rising up to the heavens. There was one. No, two. Mom. Naomi. Nami whispered. Thank you. And goodbye. So that was a better ending. Um, better as in like a good ending versus the bad ending that we kind of got with the evil sister ending. Why did the story change so much? Is that the concept? The This time around it was a lot more paranormal. Uh, there was some paranormal aspects in the first run through with the crazy sister run through, I guess you can call it. Uh, but it was more so a story of a very disturbed twin sister who, because of a burn, was ostracized from society until she became so jaded that she took it out on her mother and then later wanted to take it out on her sister in some form or fashion. This time around, it was entirely paranormal, about a evil curse that lives within the mansion where the curse has the twins trying to kill their mother, but the mother was trying to fight that curse desperately. And so it then became a curse where the mom was trying to kill the twins because of how she was fighting the curse. It kept flipping back and forth, which was weird. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it kept saying like the curse is a curse of the twins killing the mother. But then like what we actually saw, at least when we went back to the past, is the fact that the curse is actually the curse of the mother trying to kill the twins. So did it only become the mother trying to kill the twins instead of the twins trying to kill the mother because the mother was fighting the curse? Is that why? And so it's just like, fine. How dare you love your children? I'm going to make you kill them. But yeah, entirely a paranormal story this time. But I wonder if there's a reason. Is it going to say try again? Yeah. I wonder if there's a reason why the stories are so different. Is it just the choose your own story format just changes the story so greatly that it basically becomes uh a different horror story? Like it goes from like a not a serial killer, but like a man-made horror beyond our comprehension, uh, versus a paranormal horror, uh, or is there some overarching story where all of these are kind of true? Because I could see both of these stories kind of being true if Naomi in like the first run through that we did wasn't actually a real person and was a ghost the whole time. Uh but no, because she could leave the mansion because she's the one that sabotaged the car. So if she could physically leave the mansion, and if the curse is specified to be in the mansion, then I don't think that can work. So I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know. Um, let's see here. Hmm. Well, we just gotta hit try again. Where is it? Restart game. Third time. We've made 86 choices. Looked at her from the side. I saw Nami's profile was as beautiful as ever. I'm not sure if it was because she was tired, the good kind of tired from playing at the river, but she had a slightly worried, mature look on her face. What, Alan? I see you sneaking a peek at me over there. Well, yeah. I was caught off guard. You're just so eye-catching that I couldn't help myself. Okay, I guess I can understand that. Nami gave a cute little laugh. And it's just such a lonely road. Hey, Nami, are you looking at something? Nami was looking out the side of the road. Yeah, those yellow flowers. They caught my eye a little while ago. Cluster of flowers. Oh, the OTO-GIRI-SOU? OTO-GIRI-SOU? Yeah, it's written there. 3 letters. OTO-GIRI-SOU. Brother cut flowers. Oh. She traced the letters on her hand. Kind of creepy name for a flower. You can say that again. But there are other names for them, too. Hypericums. St. John's wort. They're actually pretty useful flowers. Oh? Useful in what way? My mom used to go out of her way to visit her home in Yamagata, where she distilled them. She made them into a medicine that can treat pretty much anything. A panacea, huh? Yep. You can rub it on a wound or drink it if you've got a stomachache. It helped me deal with mosquito bites and bee stings, too. It can handle whatever you throw at it, huh? Nami's eyes widened. It was nice talking to Nami. He was a good listener. My younger brother had a case of the hives once, and even though he put up a fight about it, Mom rubbed it over his skin. Yeah, okay, and then what happened? It healed right up, right then and there. I saw it happen myself, but I still found myself doubting what I saw. Wow, that's amazing. And you can get that just by distilling it? Yeah, they say it's most effective when the flowers are blooming on the plant, though. I see. Sounds like a miracle flower. Nami gave me a small sigh. You know everything, don't you, Alan? Haha, I'm not a genius. I just play one on TV. Right, in a comedy show. I was on a roll, so I decided I might as well tell her the legend of the OTO-GIRI-SOU. So, I decided to embellish the story. Let's add it. God, they make me do this every time. Can I just not? This isn't the end anyway. I'm just totally blank. First love. I responded calmly. None of the questions. It's a big world out there. Okay. I think we're going the right way. I flipped on the windshield wipers. It was getting pretty dark out. There weren't any lights on the road, and it was narrow. It was easy to see. It wasn't easy to see which way. When I turned the headlights, I could tell there was a sign up ahead, but I couldn't see it well enough to read it. I sped up a little and got close to the sign. Curve ahead. Slow down. That's what was written on the sign. It curved to the right. I slightly stepped on the brake when my foot felt no resistance against the brake pedal. I ended up pushing it all the way down to the floor of the car. Huh? I stepped on the brake 2 or 3 times, but the pedal just tapped the floor. There was no response, and the car kept gradually picking up speed on a downward slope. The brakes aren't working! Rain was striking the car's windshield furiously. I could see the sign zip right past the side of the car window at high speed and vanish from sight. Look! Just ahead! Nami thrust her finger forward and raised her voice. The curve was now right in front of us. I hurried to cut the clutch and drop into low gear. My body pitched down forward and the seatbelt dug into me. When I looked up, I could see the mountain slope coming closer and closer. I took my left hand off the lever and turned the steering wheel sharply to the right. Ah! Nami's scream was piercing. I managed to avoid crashing the car, but at the next corner, another car was driving towards us. No, we're going to crash. I tried bumping into the trees on the side of the road to stop the car. Clench your teeth, Nami. I had managed to get the car to stop. I didn't appear to be injured. Are you okay? Couldn't be worse. Nami was pouting, but her eyes were smiling. You seem like you're okay. I was relieved. Physically, I guess. Just emotionally scarred, then. I wouldn't go that far. Nami laughed. Car okay? I'm guessing the tree must have dinged it up. A bolt of lightning fell on the tree right before our eyes. It split the tree in two and set it on fire. It's coming down! We flew out of the car. Ah! Alan, your car! The tree had fallen directly onto the car, smashing it. The top of the car had caved in and the front windshield was busted. It was a sad sight. It'll be fine. At least we're both okay. I hid how disappointed I felt. It took all I had to keep me from... It took all I had in me to keep up a strong front. Maybe you could get it remodeled into a convertible. Oh, now that's a good idea. Car caught on fire. Well, that dream didn't last very long, did it? It was stupid of me to dream of it in the first place. It wouldn't have worked anyway. Remodeling an ordinary car into a convertible would have just looked lame. I muttered to myself. Nami gave me a pat on the back. Sour grapes. Anyway, what should we do now, Alan? Your car's been totaled, and it's raining. He sounded worried. We should start by looking for a path. How? It's pitch black out. The fire that had started in the car had been extinguished by the rain. That's what I brought this for. Pulled out a flashlight from what remained of the car. When I turned it on, it lit up a field of yellow flowers. What? There are hypericums everywhere. Hey, there's a mailbox over there. Nami pointed to the forest a little further ahead. There was a weather-beaten red mailbox, and just beyond it, a small path leading into the forest. Maybe there's a house up ahead. Okay, Nami. Get that bag out of the car. You gotta change your clothes in there. Yeah? Yeah. After I popped the trunk open, Nami not only pulled out the bag, she pulled out the car cover sheet. What'd you pull that out for? For shelter against the rain. It's not going to do anything for us if we just leave it here. Why not put it to good use? Isn't it going to be kind of hard to walk around under that? It's fine. I want to. There's no point arguing with crying children. Or Nami. We each got under the car cover and headed for the mailbox. After that, we walked deeper into the forest towards the light. Besides the small path were yellow hypericums. It was almost as if they were inviting us to continue down the path. It's kind of scary, isn't it? Nami said from behind me. Woo! Woo! Should we wait here until morning, then? No way. Not when it's raining. You're right. We haven't got much of a choice. I took Nami's hand and we started walking. As we continued along, the cluster of hypericums became thicker and thicker. It honestly did seem like they were guiding us. And just when I started to believe it, we came to a fork in the road that split in 3 directions. The center path was the same width as the path we'd been walking along up until now. The path to the left was a little narrower and muddy. The path on the right had grown thick with trees. It seemed like it was haunted. Center path was the same width of the path we've been walking. Path on the left was a little narrow and muddy. Path on the right was grown thick with trees. Let's just stay on the center. I chose the center path. Eventually, the path became wider and easier to traverse. Something still bothers me, though, I said as we walked along. What? Brakes. It's just strange, you know? Car's brakes? Yeah. There was nothing wrong with them when we headed out. On the way back, we were going uphill, so I never even had to hit the brakes. I only had to hit the brakes just then, at that moment. So you're saying somebody messed with the car when we were out? While we were out? Yeah, but this went too far to just call it messing with us. You're right. We almost died back there. I don't remember doing anything that makes someone want to kill me. Hey, maybe... Lightning. Nami stood still and looked up at the sky. Huh? Lightning again. It's true. We'll be in trouble if it strikes here. We need to hurry. The path was totally level now, without any slope. We ran straight out of the forest. Suddenly, we could see it. Right before our eyes, there was a huge mansion. It made us forget all about being scared of the lightning and the intensity of the rain. We stood there in awe for a moment. A huge iron gate gleamed black, wet with rain. We could see how big the mansion's garden alone was through the gaps in the gate. What a mansion, huh? Nami muttered as if her breath had been taken away. It really was impressive. The mansion itself was probably a good 50 meters from the gate. Maybe it was because of how far away it was, or maybe it was the rain, but the mansion didn't seem to be in the best shape. Still, the sight of it made my pulse pound for some strange reason. Should we go in? Yeah. I am a little scared, though. I approached the gate. It didn't seem to be locked. There was an intercom on the right column. I pushed the intercom button without any hesitation. I waited a good while, but I didn't see any response. Nobody's home, maybe? I pressed the intercom button again, but as I expected, there was no response. It's weird, isn't it? The lights are on, though. It was true. There were several windows in the mansion where you could see lights coming through. I pushed the gate, and it opened without a sound. I figured it wasn't locked, and I was right. What should we do? Whoa! A sudden flash of lightning sent us reflexively into the grounds of the estate. It was totally unkempt inside. The grass went all the way up to my waist. It was like there were walls of grass on both sides of the brick-lined path. They've really let the place go, huh? Hey, aren't these hypericums? Nami pointed down. You're right. They're blooming here, too, huh? And it's not just here. Look, there's some over there, too. Hey, hand me that flashlight. Nami shined the flashlight over the entire garden. What? She gasped. There was a whole lot more than one or two of them. They were growing all over every corner of the garden. Why are there so many of them growing here? The wind grew strong. It sent a wave through the countless yellow flowers. The wave moved from the gate to the mansion. I could almost feel the mansion shaking from the impact of the wave, and then it stopped. I stood there in the rain, struck by the thought that I just witnessed something sinister and dark. Hey! Nami put her hand up to her ear. Do you hear that? Something's rustling. Huh? You mean the wind blowing through the leaves? Not that. Something else. Suddenly, a speckled snake slithered out from the tall grass. I could see its fangs glistening in its open mouth. You hear it, right? That sound. What are you talking about? Look! It's a snake! A snake! I took Nami by the hand and ran towards the mansion in a panic. Hey, wasn't that a rattlesnake? What's it doing in a place like this? Nami shouted as we ran. How should I know? Why don't you ask the snake yourself? Poisonous! If I tried talking to it, it'd bite me for sure. We screamed back and forth at each other as we sprinted as hard as we could. We ran up the stone steps to the entrance and then we turned back. We saw the snake slithering towards us over the brick-lined path. I grabbed the door's handles. The door was locked, and it wasn't even budge. It wouldn't even budge. Excuse me? Could you open the door? Please, please! There didn't seem to be any response from inside the mansion. Ellen, it's coming! It's coming closer! Nami shrieked. I put all my power into my right shoulder and slammed in the door as hard as I could. It's a good thing the door was so old. With 2 or 3 hits, the lock broke. The momentum sent me flying straight through the entrance. That takes care of that. Oh, you're bleeding! Nami grabbed my hand. My left hand had been scratched and it was bleeding. Oh, it'll be fine. It's just a scratch. I sucked at the wound. Don't do that. You need to get it properly treated. Nami took out a handkerchief from her pocket and wrapped it around my hand. It smelled faintly of roses. This is all I can do for you now, but I'll tend to it later. Thanks. I felt a bit bashful. But anyway, lock's useless now, huh? Whoever owns this place will probably give us an earful once they find out. We'll have to apologize to them ahead of time, then. I stood up and looked around. It was a spacious entrance. It was a hall with stairs leading up to the second floor, and a large chandelier hanging from the ceiling. On the left side, there was a large brick fireplace with a cloth-covered sofa set in front of it. Is anybody home? I raised my voice and walked further inside. We've just let ourselves in, Nami also shouted out, but nobody replied. Maybe nobody's home. Yeah, well, whatever. Let's sit down for a while. I'm exhausted. I walked over to the sofa. I saw there was a suit of Western-style armor that had been placed beside the fireplace. I'd seen suits of armor on TV and in photographs, but this was the first time I'd ever seen one in person. People fighting in the Middle Ages actually wore these things. It occurred to me how heavy it must have been for those people to wear them. Hey, what's up with that? Nami tapped my shoulder. What's up with what? That, there! Pointed over to the right side of the entrance hall. A huge aquarium had been placed against the wall. There wasn't anything particularly unique about the shape of it. Just an ordinary-looking glass aquarium set in the silver-colored flame. The size was the problem. It was abnormally large. You think there's something inside? Went over to the aquarium. The inside of the glass was covered with mildew, and the water was really dirty. Even if something was in there, you wouldn't be able to see what it was. Fucking what? What is option C? I ain't sticking my hand in there. Thinking I could take a peek from above, I moved over a small sofa that was in front of the fireplace. Standing on the sofa and looking down, I could see a black mass within the dark water. Couldn't tell if it was a creature, some sort of boulder, or maybe algae. I didn't have any idea. Well, do you see anything in there? No, nothing. At that moment, the black clump moved a little. Something that looked like a ping-pong ball floated up to the top. Ugh! I looked away. It smelled like rotten fish, and the stench made me feel nauseous. I held my breath as I looked down once more, but I couldn't see that anything had changed. What could that have been? And then came from the second floor. Somebody's got to be here then. Let's go see. We walked up the stairs to the entrance. Hey, Even though we'd come so far as to walk up the stairs, Nami was whispering to me. What should we say if we meet whoever lives here? We'll be honest with them. Tell them we had an accident on the road. What else are we supposed to say to that? Huh? What's the matter? Wasn't there a suit of armor over there? I pointed to the side of the fireplace. Yeah. Oh. Suit of armor had vanished. Well, whatever. Let's go check out that sound anyway. Top of the stairs, the corridor went to the left and right. I think the sound came from this way. Which room would it be? Shh. We can hear it again. This is it. There's no reply. Are they not here? I opened the door without hesitation. It was dark inside. It didn't seem like anyone was there. There was a wooden table in the corner on the left, the actual light, which flowed to the red light. So another one right behind it, checkered cloth on the top, and a single book. Stepped inside the room. Whoa! Door suddenly. Panicked, I turned the door. Okay. Panicked, I turned the doorknob. Flash of lightning lit up the room. What? What is that? Nami clung to my arm. Okay. There was a dried-up mummy sitting in the wheelchair. On its lap was a book. What I had thought was a low table was actually the mummy's lap. What? My teeth were chattering. The light from the stand cut out, and the room went totally dark. Did the wheelchair just move? He stepped backwards. Nami tugged at my clothes. The squeaking of the wheelchair was coming closer and closer. My hands trembled, and I wasn't able to open the door. Hurry! Hurry up and open it! We practically fell over ourselves to escape into the hallway. But it was pitch black outside of the room, too. I couldn't tell left from right. Nami! Where's my flashlight? How would I know? I can't remember. Maybe I could use the lighter in my pocket. I caught a glimpse of the staircase just a short distance away. There! We headed downstairs in panic. The flashlight had been dropped right in front of the aquarium. Now it's hot! I couldn't hold onto the lighter anymore. I let go of it completely and fumbled around with my hands until I picked up the flashlight. I turned it on and pointed it at the second floor. I could see its hazy circle of light illuminate the second floor passage. There was no trace of the mummy. I can't. My legs. Nami collapsed to the ground helplessly. I sat down beside her. I couldn't believe it, though. A mummy. Here in modern-day Japan. Were we just seeing things? I didn't want to scare Nami, so I decided to go check out the mummy by myself. Where are you going? Nami called out to me from behind. I'm going to go find out whether or not that mummy was real. Who cares if it was real? Let's just stop. Nami was terrified. But I'm curious. And Nami, you're scared too. We need to find out the truth. We just might have mistaken it for something it wasn't. That's true, but still. I'll be right back. I walked over to the staircase. Wait! Don't leave me alone here. I'll go too. We returned to the door of the room we had entered before. The door had been left open. I timidly took a peek inside, but I only saw the electric stand on the ground. There's no trace of the mummy. How strange. Ah, it's on. The light was back on. The small stand was lit again, as well as the chandelier in the hallway. Oh, a cat. The black cat had come out from under the table. Here, kitty kitty. Nami crouched down and picked it up. How strange. I looked around the room. Were we just seeing things? You saw it too, Nami, right? She didn't reply. She was entirely focused on the cat. I picked up the book, which had fallen on the floor. I opened it up. It was a diary. The entry I saw was dated 6 years ago. While flipping through the pages, I suddenly found a page that was bright red. It's blood. Huh? There was nothing written on the page. Nahe Puricum had been stuck there as a bookmark. It was covered in a blackish red liquid, and still fresh. Upon seeing the diary, Nami started to look a little green. What the hell is this going to lead to? I said something without thinking. Red blood, the green look on your face, and the yellow hypericum. It's almost like traffic signal. Nami stopped listening before I could say it and flew out of the room. Ah! What's wrong, Nami? I ran after her quickly. The bats! That was a shock. What was that? A bat? I guess so. Seems like everybody's trying to make us feel welcome here somehow. What's that? I stood still and listened closely. Is that the suit of armor? Can't take this anymore, Nami said. If it's just a prank, they've taken it way too far. We opened the door at the entrance hall and went outside. The rain had stopped and the moon was out. And then... Come on, let's get out of here. I took a cautious first step. Watch out! What? I stepped on something. When I looked at my feet, I saw the head of a cat, its tongue hanging out. Ah! There were bloody legs that had been chewed on and a tail scattered around, too. Who would do such a thing? How scary. Come on, let's go. No way! When I took Nami's hand and tried to pull her along, she shouted, Ah! What's wrong? Something's there. Where? When I looked around, I saw something big moving in the shadows. Ah! We were trembling as we headed back inside. We shouldn't go outside for the time being. Yeah, I don't want us to get ripped apart like whatever happened to that animal we saw earlier. Nami had gone pale. Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. What now? We could stay here. We could stay here being scared, or we could try to find out who's behind this. I can't stand not knowing what's going on. We're going to figure out what's happened here. Alright. We stood up. Where should we start looking? Wait. There's something else we have to do first. I started looking all around. We should find something we can use as a weapon. Awesome. Gonna take him out, huh? Yeah, if you say so. Let's go. I took a liquor bottle that had been placed above the fireplace. You think you'll be okay with that? Sure do. If I get scared, I can just take a swig. We went down the hallways on the first floor. Looking right and left down the corridor, Nami asked me, which way now? This way! I bravely walked up to the first door I saw. and I opened the door. It was a spacious dining room. Wow, look at this huge table. You see this kind of table in foreign films all the time with people popping open bottles of champagne. There was a counter on the right side. Beyond that was what appeared to be a kitchen. Ugh. I felt like I was going to throw up. What? Don't don't look. I couldn't let Nami see it. There was a headless toad, the head of a pigeon, and bat wings all lined up on the cutting board. Let's just get out of here. When I looked back, Nami was gone. Nami? Nami? Nami was crouched down by my feet. I guess Nami saw it too. You don't have to say anything. We'll just go back. We headed back to the hall where I let Nami rest on the sofa. I noticed something in the shadow of the sofa. A phone. I pulled it over, only to be disappointed. Oh, the cord's been cut. The cord looked more like it had been chewed, though, with wires sticking out of it. Mice, huh? Had to be mice. Nami sounded scared as she said it. Sheesh. Then suddenly Nami squatted down. Something's here, Alan. At that moment, a huge black shadow cut through my line of sight and vanished. That fish. Huh? Nami looked at me wide-eyed. I mean, I saw it. I saw its fins. You saw its fins? It was a giant fish, bigger than any person I've seen. Don't be stupid. As if a fish can walk around. I saw what I saw. And then... Don't tell me. Huh? Cord was cut, though. I glared at the phone for a moment. Nami took the call. Hey, don't do that! Hello? Startled, she jerked the phone away from her ear and handed it to me. Listen to this. Screaming. Hello? Okay. Now I couldn't hear anything. That was a woman screaming, wasn't it? What should we do? What do you mean, what should we do? We don't even know who that was, let alone where she is. And it's not like we're in any position to go helping anyone right now. If I could talk to somebody on the phone, I want to be the one asking for help right about now, actually. What was that? I could see terror in Nami's eyes. It was on the second floor. Don't tell me the phone call we just received was from somebody in this very building. It's time to get going then. I'll see you when you get back. No, don't give me that joke. I headed upstairs with Nami. And then... Alright. There. The door at the end. I forged ahead in spite of the danger. It looked like some sort of guest room. It was pretty much empty, with only a bed and a desk. Oh, that flower. Nami realized what it was. The flower, which had been set beside the window, was a hypericum. Oh, what? I just remembered. The meaning of hypericums. It was revenge. Revenge. Nami looked at the so-called revenge flower and shuddered. I carefully led Nami out of the room. Stepping out into the hallway, we each searched the rooms one by one. There, I found a blackish door. This one doesn't open. The door had been securely locked. This area is off limits, I guess. Stop it. You're scaring me. But I mean, see for yourself. The door had been spiked into place. And we heard a cat meow from behind the door we couldn't open. It's inside. Wait, how did it get in there? There's something else. We listened closely. Sorry, that was my stomach. Give me a break. And then... This time it was Nami's stomach. Sorry, I guess I'm hungry too. Alright, that's enough then. We need to find something to eat. Yeah, that's a good idea. Nami was totally on board by the sound of it. Huh? For real? I didn't think we'd get hungry at a time like this. Maybe the fear we felt was what made us hungry. But we'll get in trouble if we eat their food without saying anything. Well, they can complain all they want. I have my share of complaints with them too, if they ever show up. When we reached the downstairs dining room, to be honest, my expectations were low. I felt sure something would pop out at us, but I didn't expect to get anything to eat. I hope they had some canned goods at least. There was no trace of anybody there. We headed over to the kitchen. I'd like to get a drink of water before we eat. Then I walked over to the faucet, wondering if water would even come out. Huh? Heard something rattling around. Peeked into the sink and couldn't believe what I saw. It was a snake with its head chewed off. Body was still writhing. Hey, Nami. Yeah? It, looks like somebody was eating a snake here. You want me to take a bite too? Not if it's raw. And then Snake lady. For some reason. You know what? I started imagining a snake lady for some reason. A scream! What? What did that sound like to you? A woman screaming. We need to go and look for her. Judging by the look in Nami's eyes, no further explanation was necessary. Let's go. We headed in the direction that it sounded like the scream had come from. There was a line of 3 doors. That way, Nami said. No, this way. I pointed to a different door. Fine. I'll look over that way, though. Hold on a second. Yeah. I opened the door that Nami was talking about. It was an oddly constructed room. The inside of it looked just like the hallway, and beyond that was the way out. It was a glass door, and it was blowing back and forth in the wind. Oh, it wasn't a scream after all. It was just the sound of a door, huh? Nami, let's go out that way, I said. The mountain road at night won't be much fun, but I'm sure it'll beat being in this weird mansion. Glass door opened up, revealing the way out. The rain and wind were even stronger than I expected. No, it's pitch black outside. You could see a little bit, though. See? There was something with a color that was out of this world right before our eyes. There was some sort of insectivorous plant, and it was about as tall as me, sitting there, blocking the way out. Right when we tried to slip past the strange-looking plant, it spit something out at us. Yuck. 2 of us got the plant's sticky sap on our face and hands. What is this stuff? It must be its sap. What kind of plant has sap that stinks as bad as this? Nami looked like she was on the verge of tears. The sap really was sticky, and it smelled disgusting. Hey, this isn't going to make our faces rot or anything, is it? Haha! Yeah, right. But I can feel it stinging my face. Now that she mentioned it, I can feel it stinging too. It's, just your imagination. No? Come on, we gotta get this washed off, quickly. We rushed over to the bathroom. And then... I wanted to hurry up and get Nami clean. The bathroom was thick with some sort of white steam, but I wasn't sure what it was. Hold on, Nami. Okay. Nami entered quickly. As Nami started to wash her face, the white steam got sucked into her reflection in the mirror and vanished. I was stunned into silence. Ow. I couldn't believe my eyes, but Nami seemed to be totally unfazed. Her reflection smiled at me from the mirror. She didn't seem to have noticed what had just happened. You should get washed up too, Alan. Your face might rot off if you don't. Thanks. I'll just wash my face then, for starters. Flustered, I changed places with Nami and started washing my face. I felt sort of like I was being watched, so I looked up. Nami's reflection was looking at me. Her eyes had an otherworldly light to them. I wondered what happened, so I asked Nami about it. Nami? Huh? What? Nami was smiling. Nothing seemed to have changed. Nami was just as refreshing to be around as ever. No, it's nothing. I returned my gaze to the mirror. It seemed like I was just seeing things. Oh! I raised my voice, surprised. What's wrong? There was an old man there with red hair, giving me a dirty look. I instinctively corrected my posture, and the old man did the same, looking like he was ready to kill me. Well, shit. Bring it on! I screamed. What are you doing, Alan? Huh? I took another look in the mirror. The old man was looking back at me. Then it hit me. The old man I was looking at was me. When I took another look, I was myself again. Don't be surprised, Alan. Isn't it your first time looking in a mirror? No. It's the second, I said as I didn't have because I didn't have to talk about what I'd seen. So I didn't have to talk about what I'd seen. I opened the sliding glass door and checked out the shower room. Wow, it's spacious. Nami peeked in from behind me. I want to get washed up, too. I'm all sticky, and it stinks. It's gross. And then I... Yeah, sure. You can go in first, Nami, I said as I started taking off my shirt. What are you doing? Huh? I'm gonna take a bath. Isn't it obvious? But I'm going to take a bath. And your point is? If I'm going to take a bath, then why are you taking your shirt off, Alan? Oh. I was thinking I might help you wash your back. Gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Nami asked me to come back with our change of clothes from the entrance hall. I brought them back to the shower. Thanks. I'll be right out after I get clean, okay? I'll be waiting out here, dirty as ever. Without any other choice, I passed through the sliding door and left. Nami started taking a bath. Ah, she's naked right now, I thought. Ah! Nami screamed. Alan! Nami! I jumped right in. There was a lot of steam in there, and Nami, she was covering her private parts with the towel. The water got so hot all of a sudden. It almost burned me. Brought a towel into the shower? That's besides the point. It sounded really mad. Fine. I'll take a look. I walked deeper into the steam with my shoes still on. I tried turning the water off, but that hot water wouldn't stop coming out, and it seemed like it was getting hotter. If it seems dangerous, just leave it alone. I'll go look for the boiler room. If the problem's not there, I wouldn't know how to fix it. Alan, what are you looking at? I knew just where to find the boiler room. I opened the door behind the stairs in the entrance and headed down into the basement. At the end of it was the boiler room. The air was very thick and heavy and began to sweat. I was stunned when I saw the temperature meter, now set to 100 degrees Celsius. I turned it back to 42. The pressure gauge was steadily rising and the safety valve was broken. But, was it an accident or did someone break it deliberately? I suddenly started to get worried about Nami. Wait for me, Nami. I kept egging myself on to keep running, even though I felt like I was about to collapse. Nami! Nami wasn't there. Nami! I started to panic. Nami! What's wrong? What are you shouting for? I was relieved to see Nami there. I was drying my hair. Sorry about that. We need to get out of here right now. A walking suit of armor, a vanishing mummy, a dangerous boiler tank. If we stay here any longer, we're gonna get killed. Yeah, I think you're right. Still, I was eager to wash this disgusting stuff off of me. I'd like to take a bath if I could. But I couldn't go in there and leave Nami alone. It'd be dangerous. I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine. Get in there and get washed up quickly. This time I was able to control the shower's hot water without any problems. I cleaned myself off as quickly as possible. The shower didn't just get me clean, though. It washed away some of my weariness and fear, too. And it got me thinking. Where could the owner of the house have gone? What kind of person were they? There was one other thing that I was curious about. Every so often, Nami's been acting different. Lately, I have no idea what she's thinking. Well, maybe it's just me. That's when I noticed something. A strange smell. It was coming from the bathtub, so I looked in. Ugh! There wasn't any water in the tub, just bones and clumps of flesh. It was like they'd all been chewed on by some kind of beast. There wasn't anything like that in the tub when I was here earlier, though. I reached over to the sliding door to open it, figuring I could just leave. It wouldn't open, though. Was the door locked from the outside? Nami? Hey, Nami! I tried to force the door open, but the handle just popped right off. At that moment, the bathtub faucet and shower both started spraying out water at full blast. Water was even coming up from the drain, and the whole shower room was filling up with water. Nami! No matter how much I shouted, Nami wasn't coming. The water reached my ankles, then my shins, then my knees, and it was still rising. Whoa! I'm gonna drown in here! I forgot to mention this earlier, but I never learned how to swim. I started banging on the wall. Uh-oh. I think I just caused an earthquake. The house rumbled, and the cracks started to run through the tiled ceiling and walls. Then the glass sliding door shattered. Holes had appeared all over the walls. The water sank, draining out all at once. I passed through the hole in the wall to make it out into the bathroom. Then the earthquake stopped, right on cue. It was odd. It was like everything up until this point had never happened. I put on my change of clothes in a hurry and rushed out of the bathroom. Nami wasn't there. I had no idea what she could be up to. No, that wasn't true. I had an idea. She could have been taken by somebody. Nami! Nami! I screamed. If you can't say anything, at least just make a noise. I'll come right over. I could hear a sound on the second floor, so I ran that way. Just when I'd made it halfway up the stairs, an axe swung down. I knew I'd seen it before. It was the axe held by the suit of armor. When I looked up, I saw the figure of a person ducking away into the second floor hallway to hide. Nami? I'm certain it was Nami. She made a big impression in that white dress. Wait, white dress? I was confused. Nami didn't have a white dress. Nami. I raced up the stairs. But I didn't see anyone there. I had my doubts. Why would Nami throw an axe down at me? At that moment, I noticed the room that I'd overlooked. In that room, like a giant painting that went as high up as the ceiling. The painting looked like it could be some kind of demon. It was the sort of painting that kind of makes you feel paralyzed when you look at it. I felt like something dangerous was creeping up behind me. Whoa! I barely dodged the sharp knife that had just been thrust at me. And again. And a third time. The knife was thrust at me. Stop it, Nami! I couldn't believe what was happening. The person who was thrusting a knife at me was Nami. I grabbed Nami's hand. Nami! I knocked that knife out of her hand. Nami slumped to the floor like a puppet that had been cut of its strings. Nami, what happened to you? Huh? Nami's eyes had become sane again. Alan? What am I doing here in a place like this? Nami looked at me, confused. You don't remember anything? What about this knife? Oh, that? I found it on the bed. Okay, and then what? I picked it up since I wasn't sure why it was there of all places, and then, I looked up and saw that picture. After that, I couldn't move. I took another look at that creepy picture. And then... Can't remember anything else. That picture, huh? I guess Nami was hypnotized by the mysterious power of that devilish painting. Well, what was I doing? Was I trying to do something with the knife? We just need to get out of this mansion, Nami. There has to be a town nearby. Yeah, I want to go home too. Huh? There were strange markings carved into the wall. Were these here before? Hey, it looks like they were comparing heights. You're right. There are names here. I could hear Nami gasp. This is my name. On the wall, someone who I assume was their mother had carved Nami and Naomi in very girlish letters. Ha ha! What a coincidence! A couple of girls named Nami and Naomi used to live here. Nami stared intently at the wall. Something seemed off. What's wrong, Nami? Nothing. Judging by the look on her face, it wasn't nothing. I'm telling you, it's a coincidence. I figured it was more important that we just get out of here anyway. We headed out through the back. There was a garage just beyond the terrace. Huh? Someone was standing in front of it. Hey, looks like somebody's there. So Nami can see them too. Nami, don't you think that person kind of looks like the mummy we saw earlier? Sure, they do look a lot alike. The woman looked slowly over at us. Or so I thought. She had vanished. Nami? We had to be imagining that. We didn't really see anything. We held hands as we walked to the gate. As we passed in front of the garage, we had to get close to where we'd seen that lady earlier. Eek! What? What is it? Hey, is that a grave? It was indeed a grave. It was a Western-style grave, and it looked like it had been well taken care of. You're not going to tell me that the lady we saw came out of this grave, are you? When I looked back, I could tell that something was off. Hey, what's the matter, Nami? Nami was glaring intently at the grave. Alan! Nami grabbed both my hands tightly. Don't let go. She was shivering terribly. I've been here before. What Nami had just said didn't seem right to me. It was when I was about 6 or 7. Somebody forced us to come here. I've never seen Nami acting like this before. Wait, hold on a second, Nami. What do you mean someone forced us to come here? I used to live here with my family. My mom and my sister. The 3 of us. We always had so much fun together. Until one day, when somebody took me away. Nami started crying. No matter how much I screamed and cried, nobody came to help me. They took me away from here, just me. Hey, get it together, Nami. Who are your mom and dad back at home, then? They raised you as their only child, didn't they? Nami looked at me. Her face went completely blank. You're right. What was I saying? This can't be good. Nami should probably get some rest. But if we go back into the mansion to rest there, something weird might happen again. We'll be fine, Nami. Let's get going already. I keep remembering more. Nami was pressing the temples on her head. I even have memories of this mansion. Nami. Okay, see for yourself. There should be a red classic car in the garage. We went back to the garage. Just as Nami said, that car was parked there with a thick layer of dust on it. I told you, I've ridden in that car before. I started to get goosebumps. You must have come here to play when you were little, huh? That would explain it. Maybe. I remember a kid. A boy? A girl? They lived here with their mom. Nami looked surprised. That was my mom! Huh? Nami was rubbing her head as if it was throbbing. Ow. Even if it's dangerous here, she really needs to go back into the mansion to get some rest. Let's go back and see if we can find any medicine for that headache of yours. No, I don't want to go back in there. I'll be fine. Just get me out of here. Nami looked like she was in so much pain. Okay, we'll do that. I propped Nami up by the shoulder as we walked. But why am I remembering all of this out of the blue? I've never remembered anything like this before. Don't worry. Don't even think about it right now. I lived here in this house. I stared at Nami, dumbstruck. What on earth was she talking about? I was born here. I have a sister. That's right. Her name's Naomi. Cut it out, Nami. Somebody's given you a phony memory. Put those thoughts out of your head. You've been possessed. You're wrong. You're wrong, Alan. This is my house. I was born here. The marks on the wall comparing our heights had my name there, right? Yeah. Enough about that. Let's just get out of here. I took Nami's hand and ran to the forest. What's that? Huh? The ground was shaking hard. It was almost like the ground itself was attacking us. Whoa, let's get out of here, Nami. The ground rose up like a tsunami. If it swallowed us up, we'd be as good as dead. We ran like wild and ended up fleeing back into the mansion. The weirdness was over. I felt like I'd just been tricked. What should we do now? I took a look outside. The ground was calm. How's your head feeling? Fine. All right. We'll try again. We're gonna make it out of here this time. I took Nami's hand, and then the ground tsunami started up again. No! Run! We turned right back into the mansion. Shit, it's like the ground is trying to keep us from leaving. I looked back, and Nami wasn't there. Shouted Nami's name like crazy. The second floor. I raced up the stairs. The door was open, so I jumped right in. Ow! Nobody was there. What I had bumped into was a busted-up wooden chair with huge bite marks on it. Hey, you've got to be kidding me. It looked like it had been chomped into by a huge shark. Did that fish monster do this? My hair stood up on end as I imagined that giant fish stomping around. I noticed a calendar hanging on the wall. There was a date circled in red and a note below that. I got closer and looked at the note. It said, 6:45. Welcome, Nami. And Alan. Nami's name. And mine? 6:45 was when the lightning bolt struck. We wandered lost into the mansion. I started to feel dizzy. Who was waiting for us here then? Had all of the strange stuff that happened to us been planned in advance? At that moment, I heard Nami's voice. Alan, where are you? I looked at the calendar. I found it so odd that I ran straight out of there. Where are you, Nami? I yelled. Over here! Come this way! Her voice was coming from the room on the opposite side. I dashed right over. Look at this! It was a maternal diary. This is my mom's. It was her diary. It certainly had the name Nami on it, but last name was different. This name's different. The lady here had a daughter named Nami. So what? With the same birthday and the same year? And the same blood type? It's just a coincidence. It's not. Nami had turned pale and I could see tears in her eyes. Well then, Alan. What about this? She opened the diary up to show me what was inside. It was a baby's handprint. She showed the palm of her hand next to the pages. Their fingerprints were identical. I was born and raised in this house. I even had a sister named Naomi. Nami showed me one other diary. It had the name Naomi written on it. She had the same birthday as Nami. Nami was trembling. Who am I? Nami. Nami started stepping backwards as she spoke. You can't stay here with me. If anything bad happens to you, it'd be my fault. What are you talking about, Nami? Nobody would ever blame you. You're wrong. The meaning of Hyperion comes as revenge, after all. Someone's after me, and I don't want you to get wrapped up in this, Alan. Don't be stupid, Nami. No, save yourself and run away. Nami flew out of the room. Nami! I was worried about what sort of grudge someone might have against Nami. I came to the front of the aquarium. Suddenly, the murky water in the tank swished around. For a brief moment, I saw a large scale in the dirty water, brushed by the glass. It's a fish monster! It was as big as a person. I wondered if this thing could eat a human being, too. Looking to the side of the tank, I could see that some water had splashed out. Don't tell me this fish monster ain't Nami. My eyes darted about, looking all around me. At that moment, I could see the figure of a person in the dining room. It was Nami. Nami! I swallowed my tongue. Nami, who was turned away from me, was swinging a knife at whatever she was facing. She was trying to stab whoever was standing in front of her. I'm sorry, I have to do this. For my brother. What Nami was saying didn't make any sense to me, but I could hear tears in her voice as she heard it, as she said it. Her hand was trembling as she gripped the knife. But I can't do it. I just can't. She sounded wretched, almost like she was coughing up blood as she spoke. Stop it, Nami. Whoever was on the floor stood up and said, Alan, get out of here. It was Nami. Two of them. No, not two of them. The one with the knife was Naomi. Stop it! I jumped out and grabbed Naomi from behind, pinning her arms down. Then something came up from behind me. Before I knew what hit me, I got smacked in the back of the head, and my body went limp. Only faintly conscious, I could hear the sound of footsteps walking away from me. I didn't know how much time had passed, but the area around me had gone quiet. Nobody was there. On the floor were some strange wet footprints. It looked almost like fins. It had to be the fish monster. It must have risen out of the tank, struck me from behind, and made off with Naomi and Nami. I hid in the corner of the dining room's doorway. Nami was in the kitchen area. Something seemed wrong. Before I spoke up, I saw that Nami was holding a kitchen knife, and she just slit one of her wrists. Blood was dripping down from her wrists into a bottle. What was she doing? Nami! Surprised, Nami looked back at me, and then... Alan! I could hear Nami scream from the other side of the hallway. Nami's voice was coming from the piano hall, so the one I was looking at wasn't Nami. It was her sister, Naomi. Alan! Nami cried out to me again. I'll be right there, I yelled as I ran over. After I ran all the way to the piano hall, my heart felt like it would explode at the crazy scene before me. Nami was being attacked by the fish monster, which stood 2 meters or nearly 7 feet tall. The fish monster was using 2 of its fins to push Nami against the piano and wrapped its long tongue like a chameleon around Nami's neck. It was standing on its fins and using them as legs. Its head was massive and its jaw was lined with sharp teeth, like a piranha. I could hear it breathing. This was the creature that knocked me out earlier. Alan, help me! Nami! All of my fear was gone in an instant. I grabbed a chair that was nearby and hurled it at the fish. A direct hit. It turned to face me, its eyes glinting with a red light. I felt my body getting lifted into the air, and then I got smacked into something. I thought of a way to hit the fish monster back. I pretended that I'd fallen unconscious, and being careful not to hurt myself, I quietly picked up a shard of broken glass that was nearby. The fish monster had returned its focus to its attack on Nami. That's when I popped right up and lashed out. But I missed. The fish monster's mouth was now right before my eyes. Eat this! I hurled the shard of glass straight into its mouth as hard as I could. It chewed that shard of glass into dust. Well, that didn't do me any good. So this thing, a piece of glass, was nothing more than something to snack on. I barely managed to dodge its grasp. Nami, let's run for it! Nami and I ran as hard as we could. How far had we gone? We were getting close to the exit. Hey, where is she? Nami suddenly stopped and shouted out to me. My sister! Naomi, my sister! I had no intention of denying it anymore. Considering how much the 2 of them looked alike, there was no other possible explanation. Nami, let's just leave for now. We can't stay here any longer. No, I'm staying right here. My jaw dropped and I was stunned for what felt like 10 seconds. Nami, what are you talking about? We have to leave here, you and me. There's no other way. No, I mean, she's my sister. Nami screamed, tears in her eyes. She totally lost it, but that's only natural considering that she'd just found out she had a sister she never knew about, and came back to a house with a mummy and a walking suit of armor, where a fish monster had taken up residence. I was born here. I grew up here, comparing my height with hers. I didn't remember any of that, but why not? How did I become the person I am today? And who are my mom and dad? Nami wailed as she wept. I couldn't find the right words to answer any of her questions. Nami looked up at me, with tears in her eyes. I'm going to ask my sister to find out about everything. Nami ran to the entrance hall. I couldn't find Nami anywhere, and I was starting to panic. Nami! Nami! I shouted as loud as I could, and then I listened. No, I shouldn't bother shouting. It would only let her know how far apart we were. 2nd floor. I headed up the stairs. Felt like Nami was close. Nami was in the mummy room. It was the room where we first found the mummy in the wheelchair. Nami. She was reading a diary. I remember seeing that diary on the mummy's lap before. It was Mom's diary. She showed it to me as she flipped the pages. She wrote about an accident that happened 13 years ago. An accident 13 years ago? Mom was the one driving. Naomi and I must have been 7 at the time. And then there was Naoki, my little brother. Your little brother? He was 2 years younger than us. Nami started tearing up. The accident left him paralyzed. Nami handed the diary to me and I took it. Right after the accident, I was sent to an orphanage. It seems like I had a rough time back then. I gave the diary a quick look. It was mostly Nami's mom complaining about how hard it would be to be a mother to Naomi, who was born with some sort of congenital ailment, and how hard it was on Naomi to have to help take care of her crippled brother. I feel sorry for Naomi. After Naoki dies, there's no way to make up for all she's been through. Diary's pages were full of those sorts of reflections. When he turned 12, he said that he wished he could turn into a fish. Into a fish? He was sick of being unable to move, of spending his whole life trapped in a wheelchair. He wanted to be able to swim freely through the ocean. Nami was crying. So the wheelchair was your brother's. Did she write about his death? Nami shook her head no. The diary just ended after he turned 12. Since he was 2 years younger than Nami, that would have been 6 years ago. That could have happened. What could have happened to him here in this mansion after that? Mom still might be watching over us. Nami had said exactly what I was thinking. It was true, and Mummy might actually be Nami's mom. My brother must be dead by now. My sister must have had it worse than anybody else. As she read the diary, she had started to see Naomi as a girl with a kind heart. I want to meet my sister. I could hear how resolved Nami was in her voice. Help me meet her, Alan. I want to know why she's hiding from us too. It's hard for me to get on board with this, I said. Have you forgotten what your sister did? Have you forgotten what your sister did, Nami? She's tried to kill us so many times. There's gotta be some sort of explanation for that. She's a good person. I was against the idea. If this mansion was Naomi's place, then she's responsible for what happened here. It's only natural we wouldn't understand Naomi after she tried to kill us so many times, though. I understand, Alan. If you're that afraid, then fine. I'll go and find her myself. Nami left, angry at me. I started to get pretty angry, too. She can do whatever she wants. She can go ahead and battle her twin sister to the death if she wants. I headed down to the first floor when I heard something. It was coming from the study. I was lost about what to do. Should I run away or should I go there? Running away would be the safest bet. Going there seemed like it'd help me figure out what's going on here. I'm such a damn weakling. I decided to put Nami first. I headed into the study. The wheelchair was there with nobody sitting on it. The mummy was nowhere to be seen. There was a book that had been left open, face up on the desk. There wasn't any wind blowing through the room, but the pages of the book were being flipped. It was the Book of Demons. Of course, the text was originally written in some unknown language, neither Latin nor Sanskrit, but I had seen the books introduced before on TV a long time ago. I picked up the Book of Demons and opened it up. I couldn't help but gasp. There it was, a picture of the fish monster. There was a chart describing how the fish monster could be turned into a human with the necessary ingredients all drawn out. A lizard, a bat, a rat, a snake, a frog, the head of a cat, and Hypericum flower. What in the hell is going on here? I groaned. It looked like this chart was indicating how to return the fish monster to a human form, which means that the fish monster used to be a human. A different page showed the reverse, how to turn a human into a fish monster. How could this be? I was struck by an overwhelming feeling of pity for whoever had undergone the transformation. Her mother had caused an accident, leaving her own child unable to move. The child wished to become a fish, and he actually became one. Now his sister is trying to turn him back into a human being. The aquarium. And then overwhelmed with fear, I moved along, step by step. The aquarium hadn't changed at all. The murky water swished around. It wasn't clear if the fish monster was in there or not. And then, the water started to disappear before my very eyes. I don't know how the device inside of it worked. Before long, the tank was empty, and I could see the bottom, but I couldn't see any hole there. nor could I see the fish monster. I did, however, see a model train track on the bottom of the tank. I climbed down the inner ladder to the bottom of the tank. I picked up the model train track and looked at it. I turned around to see where the sound was coming from, and I was surprised to see Nami tapping on the outside of the tank. Alan! Come out of there! Hurry! Nami, where were you? It doesn't matter. Hurry up! I tossed the track aside and tried to climb out of the aquarium, but just as I did, the water started to fill back up. I jumped up and grabbed onto the edge of the aquarium. What's that sound? The water was steadily rising. What's going on here? Hurry! Hurry and pull yourself up! Nami pulled me up, along with the ladder. You really had me worried there. This tank is dangerous. I'm serious. And then I took another look into the water. The model train track floated to the top and fizzled away in a puff of smoke. This isn't water. It's sulfuric acid. No way. It should be clear to you now. Make no mistake, Naomi's trying to kill us. But she's my sister. We're getting out of here. I grabbed Nami's hand. Wait. The fish monster was here. That way. I'm sure that's where my sister is too. Who cares? Let's get out of here while we can. Nami shook off my hand and shouted at me. If you want to go, then go. But I'm not about to abandon a member of my family. I decided to take it all on. That's what a man does when he's in love. Let's go get her. Thanks. Nami had tears in her eyes. I don't think she's a bad person. There has to be a reason that she attacked me with that knife. Nami was talking in a daze. It's fine, Nami. It's fine. She was crying when she attacked me, you know. She was crying? I had no idea. She was crying. She was trembling as she held the knife. And I think she mouthed the words, I'm sorry. That very well might have been the case. If Naomi really had been dead set on killing Nami, I think she would have already killed her by now. So why was she collecting her blood in a bottle? She must have been using it to feed the fish monster. To feed it? What Nami said seemed so bizarre to me. That fish monster is drawn to the blood of young women. That must have been why she was trying to take my blood. But when she didn't have it on her to have it in her to cut me, she cut herself so she could feed it her blood instead. Ah, stop it! We could hear a woman struggling and screaming in the dining hall. Stop it! Please stop it, Naoki! It's Naomi! We started running to her. The dining hall reminded me of that big battle scene in the movie Jaws. The cupboards and chairs had been ripped apart and the dishes flipped out and shattered into a powder. There in the center was Naomi, lying on the floor with blood gushing from her head. Naomi! Hey, hang in there! The two of us propped her up, and Naomi softly opened her eyes. Naomi, you're Naomi, aren't you? Naomi nodded, and seeing Nami beside her, eyes filled up with tears. Alan? Naomi had suddenly called out my name. Take Nami out of here and run as fast as you can. Please. Naomi. It's too late to save him. Naomi was talking about her little brother, the fish monster. I've tried so many times to return him to his original form. You tried to save him, Naomi? I read the Book of Demons. At first, I didn't understand anything that was written in it, but I figured if my brother could figure out how to read it, then I could too. It took me years, but I finally learned how to read what was written in that book. And what happened after that? There were all sorts of different ingredients I needed to restore Naoki to his original form. Many of them I found disgusting, but I managed to gather them all. Still, there was one ingredient I couldn't manage to get. Nami looked up as if she knew what it was. Naomi, don't tell me that the last ingredient was... That's exactly what it was, Nami. It was your blood. There's one more ingredient I need to turn him back into a human. It's the blood of two sisters mixed together. Yours and mine. I was at a loss for words. I used every trick in the book to draw you here. Because you wanted Nami's blood? No, I couldn't bring myself to do that. It's just that it's been 13 years. I've been waiting to see her again for so long. She's my sister, after all. Nami got choked up, overwhelmed by her tears. I tried using my blood alone, but It had the opposite effect. The opposite effect? My blood alone couldn't complete the spell. I'd forgotten that the blood of one young woman would only drive him mad. He's here. Naomi trembled as she stood up. I'll do what I can. Nami, Alan, you two need to get out of here and never come back again. I can't do that, Naomi, Nami shouted, shaking her head. Go, Nami. That's what Mom would have wanted. Nami held her breath. Mom? Where's Mom? You know where... She's the mummy? Naomi said, knowing that she caused the accident ate her way at her. She never got over it. She stopped eating. Her hair turned white. Before long, she had become a mummy. A mother's love is a powerful thing. I felt sorry for the lady. This wasn't her fault. It wasn't anyone's fault. Certainly not the mom who agonized over getting into an accident, and not her crippled son who wished that he could be a fish. Nor was it the fault of his sister, who shed her own blood in an attempt to save her brother. I'm the only one who hasn't done anything, Nami cried out, struck with grief. I'm the only one... I haven't done anything for anyone. Nami, calm down. Let go of me. Nami shoved me aside and ran away. No, don't go. Nami! Nami, stop! Nami's footsteps faded away. You have to catch up to her, Alan. Naomi was only half conscious. That fish monster's going to eat Nami. What? Now that it's tasted blood, it's going to want to eat any young woman it finds. And every time it eats one, it'll become even more powerful. Ah! It was Nami. Go, Alan. Go and save Nami. I didn't need to hear anything else. I ran. Nami! Nami! Ah! I heard Nami cry out just once. Nami! I shouted as loud as I could, but she didn't reply. I realized that I didn't have any idea where Naomi was either. I was at a loss. Nami! I tried shouting one more time as loud as I could, but the whole mansion was quiet. It was like the building itself was holding its breath. Where is she? Where's Nami? I ran from room to room, but I couldn't find a trace of her anywhere. Then it hit me. That door we couldn't open. I stood in front of the door that we couldn't open. Open up! Hey, open up! Inside there was only silence. I stepped back as far as I could, and then body slammed the door as hard as I could. I'd easily broken through the door we couldn't open before. I stood there looking around the room. It was a pretty miserable room. There were hypericums all over the floor, the walls, and even the windows. All the flowers were dried. It looked like a hypericum graveyard. But that wasn't all that was in the room. There was a boy's old toys that he'd been playing with up until now. Sort of toys I played with when I was younger. Race cars, model trains, mini cars, some action figures that from shows that were popular back then. I could even see a rattle, a pacifier, and other old baby toys too. Then I understood what this room was here for. It was once the fish monster's room. In other words, it was once Nami's brother's playroom. Her brother, despite being turned into a fish monster, still had the heart of a little boy, and he couldn't let go of it. He must have locked himself in his old room to play with his old toys. When I imagined what he must have gone through, before I knew it, tears had welled up in my eyes. This wasn't anybody's fault. Nobody had done anything wrong, but somewhere, somehow, things went wrong. Nami's gone. Naomi's nowhere to be seen either. I couldn't do anything to save either of them. The only thing I could do was fight back against their brother, the fish monster. It had closed the door that I had busted my way through. The monster doesn't intend to let me get out of here. All right. I decided to bust through the door. I took a metal bat that was in the room and slammed it into the door over and over. Finally, I broke through the door and raced into the hallway, but the stairway led down to the first floor had vanished entirely. Ah! I had realized that the stair was gone too late. The momentum I'd gained from running there sent me careening over the edge. I don't know how long I was knocked out before I was able to take a look around. I felt like my heart was about to stop beating. Some sort of demonic ceremony was taking place here. There was an altar set right in front of the tank full of sulfuric acid. Nami was on top of the altar. I couldn't see her all that well because she was surrounded by hypericums, but she was pretty much lying there naked, and she looked like she was dead. Naturally, the one who was leading this ritual was the fish monster. At that moment, a girl came in wearing a white hood over her head and a long white cape. It was Naomi. She moved as though she had some kind of hypnosis spell put over her. The fish monster gave Naomi some kind of order. Naomi handed the fish monster a vial of some sort of green liquid. It seemed like the ritual was about to begin. The fish monster ordered Naomi to pick up the sword that had been placed on the altar. He pulled the sword out of its sheath. Naomi heaved the sword up into the air, and below her was Nami's body. "Stop, Naomi!" I shouted. I don't know if it was during my shout or right after, but Naomi had cast the sword down. She had brought it down into the fish monster's body. Naomi was crying. With tears in her eyes, she kept slashing at the fish monster. The fish monster howled as it was slashed. If anything, the sound of its cry made it seem shocked and confused. As Naomi kept slashing at the fish monster, she shouted to me, "Alan, take Nami away now." The fish monster turned to face Naomi. Its cries seemed to say, "Why are you cutting me like this, Naomi? Do I have to fight my own sister?" The creature sounded so sad. Crying as she slashed the fish monster, Naomi seemed to be begging it for forgiveness as she chopped away at it. "Alan, take Nami away. Hurry!" Naomi's voice sounded even more overcome by sorrow than before. I jumped onto the altar and held Nami in my arms. "Nami, open your eyes." Now that I saw her up close, I could see that she was wearing a thin, light cloth. It was like something an angel might wear. "Alan?" Nami opened her eyes. Now the fish monster was angry. Both of its red eyes split open and a pale blue fire burned inside of them. "Nami, put this on." I took off my shirt and rolled it over her. "Alan, what about Naomi?" "Just run. Don't worry. Hurry." Nami's body rose up gently. "Oh, Alan." "Hold on tight, Nami." Now my body was rising up into the air, and Naomi's body too. We all drifted together as one above the head of the fish monster until we went right above the aquarium tank. Ah! Part of the wall that we bumped into fell into the sulfuric acid where it dissolved. Our bodies started to descend. The light gown Nami was wearing touched the surface of the acid. Ah! "Stop it, Naoki. Spare the two of them. I'm the only one you should kill." Who the fuck is saying that? Probably Naomi? "Stop it, Naoki. Spare the two of them. I'm the only one you should kill." We held hands there in the air. Our bodies, still going down, had nearly reached the acid. "Oh, no more." "Save us, Naoki." "Save us, Naoki," Nami shouted. "We're your sisters." "That's right, we're your sisters." The fish monster stopped moving. Its head tilted, ever so slightly. It looked like it was thinking. In that instant, we were held perfectly in place in the air. The three of us used to play together a long time ago," Naomi shouted out desperately. "You've got to remember us, Naoki. You always used to run so fast. You'd beat us every time. You always did the best drawings, too. Remember, Naoki," Nami shouted. "Remember that summer vacation when the three of us played in the river? We got attacked by a snake then, and you came to our rescue, even though you were smaller than us." "I remember that too. You hear that, Naoki?" Nami remembers. She didn't forget about you. Not at all. We can live together again, Naoki. The three of us. Just for a moment, I could see tears forming in the fish monster's eyes. But the tears didn't last. It had grown even madder than before. The fish monster got up and posed its fins up higher than its eyes. We were brought all the way up to the ceiling. Then the fish monster made a move like it was hurtling something down. The three of us got flipped upside down, but we were beginning to drop down to the tank of sulfuric acid at the speed of a falling balloon. Ah! Nami! Nami and Naomi were screaming. At that moment, I accepted my fate. It was the mummy. Suddenly, the mummy in its wheelchair raced forward at full speed and crashed into the aquarium. The tank shattered into pieces, sulfuric acid pouring out everywhere. It melted right through both the mummy and the wheelchair it was sitting on. It all happened so suddenly. For an instant, all that was left of the mummy was its gray hair, but even that too dissolved into the acid, gone without a trace. At that moment, we were cast down into a dry part of the floor. It was their mother's love, even though she'd been turned into a mummy. In the end, it was their mother's love that saved us all. The acid had burned through the center of the entrance hall, forming a small lake of sulfuric acid right there in the center. And then in the center of that sulfuric acid was the fish monster. It was writhing in pain. As it writhed, more and more of its body dissolved, letting out a white cloud of smoke that rose up into the air. The fish monster's screams turned into whimpers. It was crying. "Oh," then I shouted. I heard him speak just now. It sounded like he said, "My sisters." I heard him say it too. And just as Nami said that, Naomi had already jumped straight into the acid. "Naomi, no!" Naomi had jumped in the sulfuric acid lake. But the weird thing is, nothing happened to her. For some strange reason, the sulfuric acid had turned into ordinary water. "Naoki! Naoki!" Naomi shrieked with tears in her eyes. As she wept and called out her little brother's name, she carried the body of the fish monster at the lake. "Oh!" Nami and I both shouted at the same time. The blackened body of the fish monster crumbled away. Inside of it was a very handsome boy. "Naoki! Oh, Naoki!" Naomi hugged the boy in her arms. If this had been a tale of Andersen or Grimm, this would have been the part where the boy gave us all a beautiful smile and stood up, finally released from his curse. But Naoki didn't smile. He didn't stand up. That handsome young man was dead. Nothing had changed about that. "What's that?" Nami shouted. "Oh, right. I'd forgotten about that. It's gotta be the pressure in the boiler room. It must have risen too high. Let's get out of here. The boiler's gonna explode." "Ah! Fire!" Maybe the boiler had started the fire, or maybe it was something else. I wasn't sure why, but flames were coming up from the floor, and they were spreading throughout the room before our very eyes. "Naomi, run!" "Hurry, Naomi!" But Naomi wouldn't budge. She just stayed right where she was, holding on to Naoki. We were surrounded by flames so high that they reached up to the ceiling. "Alan, we've got to save my sister." I pulled Nami back. "We can't save her. It's too late now." I wasn't even sure if we could save ourselves. "No, she'll die if we don't help her." "Don't be stupid. Come with me." Nami fell to the floor as I dragged her along. "Run! I'm telling you, run!" Everything was falling apart. The place where Nami and Naomi grew up together was burning to the ground. Nami and I were so exhausted we couldn't speak. "Let's get out of here. The boiler's gonna explode." "Wait. Alan, look." It was Naomi. She was holding tightly onto Naoki's corpse. She looked like she was about to collapse any second as she walked towards us. "Naomi! Naomi!" We ran over to her. She was barely breathing. "Hang in there, Naomi." Naomi barely managed to open her eyes. "I'm not going to make it." "Don't say that. We're here for you." "Listen to me, Nami." Naomi weakly took Nami's hand. "And you listen too, please, Alan." I was worried about the boiler, but I concentrated on what Naomi was saying. "Okay, we're listening." "Great. Thanks." Seemed like Naomi was fighting just to stay conscious. 13 years ago, you know that accident Mom was in? I was the one who caused it." "What?" "The two of us were arguing about which way to go, right or left. Mom seemed like she was about to listen to you, so I said, No, it's this way. Then I pulled the steering wheel as hard as I could. After I did that, everything went black and I heard a big noise. We got thrown out of the car. Naomi gently stroked the corpse of her little brother's face. I'm the one who did this to you. But Nami, remember this. Our mom never blamed me for what happened. She didn't scold me even once. She didn't say anything about it. Nami had taken her last breath. Naomi, Nami cried. But we didn't have the luxury of grieving over her passing. Nami, come with me. Come on. I grabbed Nami's hand and pulled her along. We started running. We made it back to the place where we left the car behind. The remnants of that lightning bolt remained. Ever since that bolt of lightning fell, only a few hours had passed. For the two of us, it felt like so much time had passed. The area below the mansion was glowing red. Nami and I held each other by the hand and watched the place explode. The explosion swallowed up everything. Naomi, Naoki, their mother's love, their sadness. I wrapped my arm around Nami's shoulders. Oh. Nami quietly exclaimed. Stars. Okay. That was also kind of paranormal, but that was more so like monster flick, kind of. So it's like a different horror every ending. But like none of these endings connect, like at all. Like the story truly rewrites itself when you play the game. And I can't imagine there being any kind of tie-up where all these endings make sense. Unless like the final ending is just the manor is so haunted that it is constantly creating new scenarios to torture these same people. Because it's all the same people. At least mostly. Naoki is new in this one. But it's player character, Nami, Naomi, the mother, and then this one had Naoki. I'm not sure if Naoki is going to be a constant or not with some of the other endings, or if Naoki's just in this one. But other than Naoki, like the common ones are the player character, Nami, Naomi, and then the mother. Which I'm pretty sure we haven't gotten a name for yet. I'm pretty sure it's just Mother, or the Mummy. It's interesting. It's not what I was thinking of when they said, in, like, the manual that the game had multiple endings. This was not what I was thinking of in the slightest when it said that. I was thinking, like, you know, the typical route of there's a bad ending, or there's a couple of bad endings, there's, like, neutral routes, there's good endings, and then there's maybe, like, a true ending, which may not be a good ending, but it's, like, what actually happened. Or the full story. It's the ending that has the full story in it. But no, these are just entirely different stories starring the same cast of characters in the same setting. It's interesting. Try again. Yeah. But we got two endings. I might look up how many endings there are. I'm gonna look up how many endings there are just to see how much we have left to do. Because I don't know how much left there is. Because once again, I was under the pretense of there's going to be a true ending of some kind, and like typically you kind of know when there's a true ending. If there is technically a true ending in this game, this try again will probably just say the end. At least if I had to take a guess. But I'm gonna look up how many endings there are just to kind of get a idea of how much further into the game we're going. And also because like how many more genres can they throw at us? It seems like it's a genre per ending. Like a genre of horror per ending. Like you have like just the human killer, you have paranormal activity, and then you have like a monster, like an actual like movie monster, a demon even. Uh, but I guess there could be there's multiple forms of like paranormal movie. There could also be different monsters. Uh, there might even be another ending where Naomi's the killer again. I mean, Naomi was the killer in the second story, but she was specifically possessed. The first one, she was just evil, but the second one, she was possessed by the curse of the manor. This time, she was like an actual good person. So yeah, I'll look up some more specifics just to kind of know how much farther we really have, how much more there is, and then we'll go from there. But that's two more endings down. So that's pretty good. Let me just do reset game. Yeah, just his fourth time. So I don't have anything to go off of. I've made 127 choices. Cool. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Especially if you got this far and stick around because there's a lot more to come.